Red Wing Hockey. Tonight's game is brought to you by your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep Renault dealers, offering all new two-wheel, four-wheel, and front-wheel drive cars for 1981. And by Pesky and the Pesky Great American Premium line of meat products. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Now, from ringside, here is Bruce Martin and Sid Abel.
And we say hi, everybody, from the Civic Arena here in Pittsburgh with the first telecast of a brand new club. Hopes all good things for you and really for the Red Wings, too. And, Sid, we talk about four-point games, and with the Red Wings trailing Pittsburgh by only 1 point, here it is.
This is truly a four-pointer, and I just have an idea that the Pittsburgh Penguins might be looking beyond Detroit tonight. They play in Chicago tomorrow night. That's the team that Eddie Johnson coached last year. There are big articles in the paper here today saying that Chicago is lifting a ban. They are not allowed to put any banners on the wall. Tomorrow night, they're going to allow the public or the hockey fans to put banners on the wall just to voice their opinion of Eddie Johnson being fired last year. So he may be looking at that game more than this one, I hope.
General Manager of Chicago, Bobby Pulford, just sitting down a little ways, so he considers it a very important game, too. But for the Detroit Red Wings, it's an important one, too, because here's a hockey club that hadn't won on the road in 15 games, and yet in the last 5, they haven't lost, with a couple of wins and 3 ties. So it's a big game for them. And one of the reasons, Sid, you and I have talked about it, that this hockey club has gone as well as they have, is this fellow right here, Gilles Gilbert. He has played 25 games in a Red Wing uniform since he was brought in from Boston, given up 90 goals. Now, that's a 3.61 goals against, but that really isn't the whole story of Gilles Gilbert, because after the Jimmy Rutherford trade, you'll recall, they played the one game against Quebec the day of the trade. Wings were terrible in that game. They lost it 4-1. But now in his last 12 games, Gilbert has given up 31 goals. That's a 2.58 goals against average. And Gilles, in those last 12 games, has won 7, lost only 2, and tied the other 3. He is one of the reasons the Red Wings have the record they have right now.
Well, Bruce, I've always said a hockey club only goes as far as the goalkeeper will take them, and Gilbert has just been outstanding for all 12 games. I would think in the last, I'm going to say 7 or 8 games, he has been picked either the first, second, or third star. He has literally carried this hockey club, and good goaltending will do that, and I'm sure that Wayne Maxner is very happy to see him taking the brunt of the attack.
Well, the Red Wings tonight will be dressing Mark Curtin. He did not play in last night's game because of a pulled groin, but he'll be set to go tonight, and George Lyle will be sitting out. So you take another look at the Detroit goaltender as he was in the warm-up, and we're going to be back with the opening face-off of this game between Detroit and Pittsburgh after we pause for this.
This Bud's for everyone who puts it down in black and white.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
The Renault revolution has begun.
Renault 18i.
Introducing the front-wheel drive machine with extraordinary performance that beats the price of BMW by $4,000. The Bosch fuel-injected family sedan that beats the gas mileage of Toyota Celica. Renault 18i. At more dealers than any other European car.
Renault 18i.
Renault, more than just economy. At American Motors.
The three officials for the hockey game tonight, the referee Brian Lewis, John D'Amico, and Willett Norris will be the two linesmen. And Greg Millen, he'll be in the goal tonight for Pittsburgh. They've been having some goaltending problems. And Gilles Gilbert, as we mentioned, in goal again for the Red Wings. And he's been the workhorse of the Red Wing goaltending staff since the absence of Jimmy Rutherford, the trade some 13 games ago. And in goal for that one game in Edmonton, playing the 4-4 tie, was Larry Lazinski. The Red Wings will start the hockey game with Dale McCourt at center ice, in between Mike Foligno on the right wing and John Ogrodnik on the left side, and Reed Larson, John Barrett back along the Detroit defense. From the opening face-off, Larson at his own blue line. That's Barrett, and the puck tipped into the Pittsburgh zone. Heading back after it, number 11, Ferguson. Ferguson cleared it to the line. Larson held it in. His pass into the corner. Carlisle knocked sprawling. Or rather, Carlisle knocked Foligno sprawling. The play held in by Barrett. In behind the goal goes Foligno. It was knocked away from him and Randy Carlisle. He's having a great season. Brings it out to center ice with a pass to Ferguson. Dumped into the Detroit zone. Digging in at number 27 is Schutt. McCourt has him tied up. Now Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik's pass knocked away, and it was taken by McCourt. Dropped back for Barrett. Here's Dale McCourt. McCourt playing it off to the side of the goal. Going in after it, Ferguson. Wings changing on the move. Number 20 moving out is Paul Gardner into the Detroit zone. He was checked there by Jim Korn. John Hamel. Hamel, Lonsbury moved in on him. Now Ross Lonsbury clearing it ahead to center ice. Gardner's pass broken up by Korn. John Hamel just tipped it back to the blue line. It goes into the Detroit zone. That's Gardner, number 20 with it, trying to move out in front. Paul Woods checked him. Held in at the blue line. There's a shot by Stackhouse, and they score. Deflected out in front of the goal, I believe, by Gardner.
Well, that was a little carelessness on the part of the Red Wings. They had a chance to get the puck out over the zone, and they just flipped it back out to the defenseman. The shot right along the ice, and Gardner got a stick on it. He just changes the direction. There's the puck that was flipped out to the defenseman. He takes a shot right along the ice. Gardner put his stick down. Number 20 got a stick up in the air and deflected in the corner. First shot on net in the game. And Pittsburgh jumped off to a 1-0 lead.
Stackhouse, who fired the puck from the blue line, gets the assist on the goal. Now that's Reed Larson playing it to center ice, knocked away. Perry Miller tipped it back out center ice, and Stackhouse, who fired the shot, tipped in by Gardner, laid it in behind the Detroit goal. Reed Larson had trouble with it there. It came back, standing on the shot, Peter Lee. That's Anderson with a shot, and Gilbert knocks that away. Puck sent back along the boards. Nedemansky turned around, didn't get it out. Came right out in front, and Gilbert made the save, and a rebound fired wide by Malone. Now Greg Malone, number 12, in behind the Detroit goal again. Brought it out in front, and they score another one. And just like that, less than 2 minutes gone by, it is 2-0.
Well, you can't stand around and watch the other team put on pressure, and the Wings have been doing that the last 2 games in the first period. They just don't seem to be able to get their act together. Here's a case where Pittsburgh just put tremendous pressure on, kept the puck in the zone. A little simple play from behind the net, around, deflected off a skate, right back into the net by Gilbert. And that's got to shake up a goaltender when they can score 2 goals in 1 minute and 53 seconds.
So Greg Malone gets the goal at 1:53. Hamilton and Lee draw the assists on the goal, but it was pretty much an individual effort by Malone. Play into the Detroit end, offside. Malone gets just his 6th goal of the season. For Gardner, it was his 12th. Gardner from Stackhouse at 1:17. And then 36 seconds later, 1:53, Malone from Lee and Hamilton. So the Wings with their work cut out for them.
Who would ever think that we would have 2 goals scored in the first minute and 53 seconds in a game that means so much?
Well, if you're going to give up the first 2, you might as well do it early. Have more time to come back. Now the play knocked into the Pittsburgh zone. Millen stops it off to the side of the goal. Penguins in behind their own net. Cleared up to the blue line for Ferguson. Ferguson dumps it up the left side. That's Schutt trying to work away from Huber. Huber knocked him off balance. Jim Korn's pass. That's LeBratton. It's kicked away from him by Faubert. Jim Korn tied up by Ferguson. Peter Mahavlich dumped it off to the side, and Polonich has it there. Dennis Polonich's pass knocked away, and it's Pittsburgh doing the forechecking. Number 26, Kindrachuk, back his first game since in October. There's a shot from the blue line by Faubert, knocked away out in front, and LeBratton has it. Now Danny LeBratton skates it out to center ice, ahead to Peter Mahavlich. Former Penguin over the line into the Pittsburgh zone. Mahavlich, he was checked from behind. A good move by Johnson. Mark Johnson tied up by Mahavlich. Puck came to the line. Korn took a long shot. Faubert steers it to the corner. Now Korn moved in, knocked his man over, but Johnson pulls it out on the right side. Faubert carried into the Detroit zone. Pinned in along the board. And the wings, Danny LeBratton left it there, right out in front of his own goal, Reed Larson. Now Larson hands it back in the corner. Jim Korn gives it back to him. Passed ahead to Dale McCourt. Polino wasn't moving, so the play comes back to the blue line. And back inside the line, here's Rissling. Gary Rissling on the ice for the first time. Made a run at the Detroit player. And now Russ Anderson trying to get at Jim Korn. Well, there's a little story on Gary Rissling, who was acquired. This is his first game from the Washington club. He's been in the minor leagues. He is number 23.
They give a 5th-round draft pick for next season for him.
He doesn't score goals, and he doesn't get many assists, but he gets an awful lot of penalties.
Bruce, I have some records here. 5'9", 185 pounds.
And that's him. And we'll be back in just one moment.
Come, drive in the 4th dimension. Experience the 4-wheel drive edge of the American Eagle. Feel all 4 wheels bite into bone-dry pavement, slice through rain, eat up snow. This year, Eagle introduces incredibly improved gas mileage to its spectacular 4-wheel drive advantage. Why drag 2 helpless wheels along? Now drive with extra traction and economy in the 4th dimension. The American Eagle from American Motors.
Out of this one, Pittsburgh picks up both minor penalties. 2 minutes to Anderson, 2 minutes to Rissling for roughing. It's a rather strange call.
I was going to mention about Rissling. In 1978-79, playing partially with Washington in the minors, he spent 450 minutes in the penalty box. 79-80, he was 325 minutes in the penalty box. And this year, just in 19 games in the Central League, 161 minutes. So he spends most of his time in the penalty box. Now, whether he will help them, I would think he would probably hurt this hockey club more than help.
Well, he hasn't helped them so far. And then Anderson moved into it and took another belt at a Red Wing player. So referee Brian Lewis elected to send off 2 Pittsburgh players, Anderson and Rissling. 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Detroit with a 2-man advantage.
What a golden opportunity now for the Wings to be able to get back in this hockey game after giving up 2 quick, early first-period goals, a minute and 53 seconds.
Mark Johnson will be the only Pittsburgh forward. Dave Burrows and Ron Stackhouse back along the Penguins' defense. The Wings have Huber and Larson, Dale McCourt, Ogrodnik, and Foligno. McCourt wins the draw. Here's Willie Huber over the line, pinned off the puck by Stackhouse. McCourt plays it into the corner for John Ogrodnik. It got away from him. He's in after it. Now Ogrodnik back on the point to Reed Larson. Larson. Wings with a 2-man advantage. Back now to John Ogrodnik. Back to Larson. He whistled the shot. The save made. The puck bouncing around. Cleared back to Larson. Larson with another shot. He scores. And the Red Wings right back into a 2-1. And they'll still have a 1-man advantage for a minute 33.
And that's the way to take advantage of it. Get a real quick goal like that. And Larson made no mistake on his second shot. He was just beyond the hash marks, and he really unloaded. Mike Foligno missed the puck bouncing around in front of the net, come back out to Larson from just the top of the circle. He really rifled it.
Well, they call it an unassisted goal, his 10th goal of the year, as he did intercept the clearing pass. So it's 16:06 still to go in the first period, 2-1. Pittsburgh leads. Stackhouse drives it back into the Detroit zone. A minute and a half left in one of the 2 minor penalties. Wings with a 1-man advantage. Now here's Larson moving out again. Larson dumped it ahead to John Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik pulling up along the blue line. They kick away at it. Kindrachuk hit the linesman with it. Now there's going to be a penalty coming up to Detroit as Willie Huber, for some reason, dumped Peter Lee. So he'll go out.
A bad penalty by Willie Huber. When you have a man advantage, you want to stay on the ice. The Wings had an opportunity to maybe even the score up. This play coming out. Watch Willie right in front, right at the blue line. He just dumped Peter Lee backwards for no reason at all. The play wasn't dangerous.
So Huber goes off for interference at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. 2-1. Pittsburgh out in front. 2 quick goals by Gardner and Malone, 117 and 153. Then Larson with the Detroit club holding a 2-man advantage at 3:54. Now Huber in for interference at 4:17. Still a minute and 10 seconds remaining to Rissling's penalty. Ron Stackhouse clearing it into the Detroit zone. Larson heads back after it. Tipped it along the boards. Glenn Hicks, number 22. Bumped into by Stackhouse. John Barrett clears it back to Larson. Reed Larson up the left side. That puck tipped away. Gardner cleared it back into the corner. Rick Keogh, number 17, going after it. Hicks lost his helmet. They hold the puck to the boards, and the face-off stays to the left of Gilbert in the Detroit goal. The only out-of-town score that we have been reported to us thus far is Buffalo and Quebec playing at Quebec, and it's 1-1 in the first period there. Peter Mahavlich comes out now with Dennis Polonich. 44 seconds remaining in the Pittsburgh penalty. And the Wings will be short a man for 50 seconds. Time left in the penalty to Willie Huber. Barrett, Perry Miller, the 2 Detroit defensemen now. Peter Lee and Greg Malone up front for Pittsburgh. That'll be Malone in against Mahavlich deep in the Detroit end. Puck wasn't dropped. Linesman faked them both out. Came back toward the blue line, held in. Here's Carlisle. Carlisle with a shot, and Gilbert grabbed that one in traffic and held on.
That's one thing this Pittsburgh Hockey Club do. They get the puck back out to their point man, and they fire at the net. They try to run a screen out in front to watch Carlisle take his shot. There's the man right out in front of Gilbert trying to block the view. But Gilbert got the big glove out.
Randy Carlisle, number 25 in the month of December, 4 goals and 18 assists. He was 3rd overall scoring in the National Hockey League. That's Carlisle chasing back into his own zone, playing it ahead for Lee. He played it back into the Detroit end, back after it Perry Miller. Miller in behind Gilbert. Now Miller almost lost it. It's kicked back to the blue line. Carlisle held it in right out in front. Here's Lee. Lee moving right in front. He scores. And it's 3-1. We're just past the 5-minute mark.
Well, there again, another bad goal as far as Detroit's concerned. A bad pass. Perry Miller just about made a bad pass coming around behind his net, but he made a bad pass to, I think it was Reed Larson, and the puck was fed up along the line. Peter Lee goes in, swished it right along the ice.
Assisted by number 12, Greg Malone. And number 25,
Malone and Carlisle draw assists on the goal, his 11th of the year for Peter Lee. Each team is still short a man. In 12 seconds, Pittsburgh will have the extra man for 50 seconds. Now it's Reed Larson playing it into the Pittsburgh zone. They wave off the icing. Faubert back to get it. Up on the left side now, and this is Carlisle. Carlisle clearing it down the ice, going after it, Korn. Now Pittsburgh has the extra man, Jim Korn, giving it to Reed Larson, back to Korn. Korn skating it out, now dumps it the length of the ice. Millen plays it in behind his own goal, and Carlisle in after it. 30 seconds remaining in Huber's penalty. Now Carlisle up the left side. That's Faubert. He is tied up in along the boards by Paul Woods. Face off to the left of the Pittsburgh goal. Face off will be just to the left of the Penguins net. Paul Woods and Dale McCourt, penalty killers for Detroit. 23 seconds left in the penalty to Willie Huber. Gardner, Malone, and Lee for Pittsburgh. Larson for Detroit. And it's 3-1. We're not yet to the 6-minute mark of the first period. Paul Woods. Woods stemmed in along the boards by Carlisle. This is Kehoe in behind his own goal. Up on the right side for Lonsberry. Now Lonsberry playing it into the Detroit end. 5 seconds left in the Detroit penalty. And the puck fired down the ice. So that'll eat up the rest of the time. Getting up and coming out of the penalty box, Willie Hubert. Now Faubert winding up again. Pittsburgh carrying into the Detroit zone, broken up right at the line. Reed Larson's pass to Netamansky. Carlisle in front of him. Netamansky turning back at the line. His pass got away from Curtin. And Carlisle cleared it back to the blue line. It bounced out to center ice. Larson and Gardner tie one another up. Here's Lonsberry. He was checked from behind by Curtin. Barrett. Now Barrett's pass, and there's a penalty coming up. Another one against Detroit. As the Pittsburgh player Gardner was sent down in the corner, and I believe it's Netamansky going off this time. So we'll be back with still another Pittsburgh power play after this message.
Detroit.
Good morning. I'm your new homeroom teacher.
Vinny Barbarino.
Juan Luis Pedro Filippo de Huevos Epstein.
Hi there.
Freddie Boom Boom.
Oh, I see.
I'm Arnold Horshack.
Welcome Back, Connor premieres Monday night at 7 on TV 50.
So it's Václav Netamansky off for interference. The time of the penalty, 6 minutes, 48 seconds. Each team with 2 minors now. Penguins failed to work it out. First time, now Carlisle. Laid it up on the right side, over the line. Number 26, Kindrachuk, takes it into the corner, being watched by Larson. Knocked away by Larson, and Paul Woods drives it down the ice. Millen stops it in behind his own goal, and Carlisle back to get it. 1.5 minutes left in Netamansky's penalty time. Up on the left side, Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk with Ferguson ahead of him. That's Ferguson being chased by Larson. Ferguson plays at the opposite corner. Barrett bumped his man shut. They take it in along the boards, hold it long enough for a face-off to the left of Gilbert with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the penalty. Pittsburgh has outshot Detroit 7-2.
You know, I bet Wayne Maxter is wondering just why this Red Wing Hockey Club in the last 3 games are getting off to a slow start and then coming like gangbusters in the second and third period. Here tonight, they just got rocked right in the first minute and 53 seconds for 2 quick goals, then a costly error when they got back in the game after Larson had scored to make it 2-1, a costly error back behind their blue line, and Lee scored to make it 3-1.
Now this is Faubert moving in, firing the shot, knocked down in front. Malone had it, and it went off to the side of the goal. Greg Malone in behind the Detroit net. Pittsburgh with the extra man. Malone into the corner. Off the rim of the circle now. Played it all the way down the ice. And it was sent there really by Mark Curtin, who almost intercepted that and now does and clears it in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Curtin, he was given a whack by Malone, went back at him, and now Curtin is going to get a penalty on the delayed call. Penguins lift their goaltender, but now Curtin is going to go off. And the Wings will be 2 men short for 38 seconds, the time left in Netamansky's penalty.
Well, Curtin was knocked down, and he felt that there should have been a penalty called on Pittsburgh, and I believe everybody in the building thought that too. But then he turned around and gave one little shot back, and that's when the referee was looking at it. And so he got caught for slashing. You've got to keep your cool, and this early in a hockey game, you can't win games sitting in the penalty box.
So Curtin goes off at 8 minutes and 10 seconds. That gives 38 seconds. The Red Wings to be 2 men short. Great seats are available for Red Wings season tickets below the walkway at Joe Louis Arena. For Red Wings ticket information, call 961-6444. Dale McCourt, the only Detroit forward, didn't get it out, just left it back on the blue line. It's handed now to Carlisle. Randy Carlisle played it back toward the line for Kehoe. 20 seconds left in Netamansky's penalty. Kehoe off the rim of the circle, hands it back to Carlisle. Now Faubert with a shot, knocked down out in front. Oh, and just cleared away from the goal mouth. Here's Carlisle. Gilbert has been shaken up. He's having trouble getting up. The shot wide of the Detroit goal. Netamansky with 2 seconds left in the penalty. Now that's Lonsberry. Netamansky's back on. Now here's Carlisle. Carlisle with a shot, and it was Netamansky that deflected it up into the crowd.
A good play by Netamansky coming out of the penalty box to deflect Carlisle's shot. Jules Gilbert is hurt. He's down on one knee.
He was having trouble getting up.
Yes, he was down on his hands and knees, and I don't know whether it would be that pinched nerve or not. He's moving around now. Larson doing a little spade work in the corners, flattening a couple fellas, but
Lefty Wilson out to take a look at him now.
and the Wings cannot afford to lose Jules Gilbert. He has been the one main cog that has really been responsible for the Wings playing so well. That puck was everywhere but in, Bruce. Watch the play here. There's a save made, and look at it coming across, and right there, I don't know if it was Barrett or someone got their stick on it before a Pittsburgh player.
Well, it was John
before
Barrett.
It went in the open net.
Barrett would have to be thinking about last night, because on such a play, he ended up dumping it into his own goal for one of the two goals scored by Vancouver. But he's played very steadily. Now a minute remains in the penalty to Mark Curtin. Pittsburgh with the extra man. They have the 3-1 lead. Over the line into the Detroit zone. Puck went right to the goal mouth, and Gilbert came out and knocked it away. And Larson clears it down the ice. Cutting right through was Kindrachuk. Now this is Stackhouse going in behind his own goal. On Stackhouse. Handing it now to Johnson, Mark Johnson. A long right side pass over the line, Kindrachuk, but getting there first was Barrett. And the rookie clears it the length of the ice. A half a minute left in the Detroit penalty. Johnson in behind his own goal. Now Johnson heads out again. 20 seconds left in the Pittsburgh power play. This is Stackhouse. Long bouncing shot, and Gilbert's going to hold on to it with Peter Lee moving right in on top of him. We near the 10-minute mark of the first period. It is 3-1. Penguins lead. 16 seconds left in the penalty to Mark Curtin of Detroit.
We have a lot of people over from Detroit. Bus loads come over. The Forum Fan Club, Frank Miller, John Claft of Lincoln Park want to say hi to their son back in Detroit. And there's so many, I'll have to wait and just go through them as we get breaks along the line.
Bonnie and Cindy of the Forum Club said that they had to leave Claire at home to say hello to her. She, I guess, is on a good many of the trips. Now the play, that's Peter Lee being checked by Dennis Polonich. It came back to Carlisle. Randy Carlisle hands it back to Lee. His shot deflected off Korn. Dumped into the corner. Still the Penguins have the pressure on. Lee with that puck out in front. His shot was blocked. It came back out, and they hit the goal post. Driven off the goal post by Jim Hamilton. The Wings now are back at full strength. Penguins, though, have the pressure on in the Detroit end. That's Greg Malone. Greg Malone still battling to control it. Willie Huber took a run at him. It's bouncing around in behind the net. Huber takes it to the boards and holds it there. And with a pause in the action, Pittsburgh 3, Detroit 1. We'll be back in a moment.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Face off to the left of the Detroit goal. Paul Woods in against Paul Gardner. At least he was, but they're both waved out. So Glenn Hicks and Lonsbury. Buckley right there in the circle going in after it. This is John Barrett ahead to Woods. Now Paul Woods carrying out to center ice, trying to work away from Kehoe, couldn't do it. Following up with Barrett, he just cleared it into the Pittsburgh zone. Russ Anderson back after it. Sending it around on the right side. They kick away at it there. Played in behind the goal, and Anderson, number 7, goes in after it again. Clearing it ahead, Gardner banged it off the boards to center ice. Barrett of Detroit. Now John Barrett clearing it back in. Woods just ahead of the play. It's offside. 9 minutes exactly to play here in the first period. Monday night at 7, the hallowed halls of Old Buchanan. Hi, welcome back an old student and a new teacher. Welcome back, Carter. Premieres Monday night at 7 on TV 50.
We have an update on the Buffalo and Quebec score. It is now Quebec 2, Buffalo 1, late in the first period. Hunter and Goulet for Quebec, Perreault for Buffalo.
The shot board here pretty well reflects the play of the first period, which shows the Penguins 11 shots on goal and Detroit 2. One of the two, Larson's goal. Willie Huber cleared it to the blue line. Then in the second attempt, shot it into the Pittsburgh zone. Stackhouse bumped there by Peter Mahavlich. It's loose in behind the goal. Kindrachuk played it for Ferguson, and Ferguson scoops it out center ice. Willie Huber turning at his own blue line. Ahead now to Dennis Polonich. Polonich checked right there in the center ice zone. Now Polonich and Kindrachuk are going at it, the two of them, and the linesman D'Amico in between them very quickly. As Kindrachuk jumped back after being out with back spasms, and it held him out all.
This may put him back out
October,
again.
yeah.
He's been out for 28 games or so because of his back. He caught one, too. Dennis threw an overhand that was right on the button early in the squabble.
So the two of them will go off. We are at 11 minutes and 22 seconds of the first period. 3-1.
There's Dennis going to the penalty box.
Here's the way it started.
Here's right along the boards. Kindrachuk took Dennis out, and Dennis's hand come up and hit him in the face. Then he didn't get the glove off, but he got the glove off there when he got a real good right in.
So the two of them go in for, I imagine, major fighting penalties, 5 minutes apiece. The Red Wings' next home game is Tuesday, January 6th against Montreal Canadiens at 7:30. The tickets on sale at the Joe Louis box office and all the CTC outlets, including Hudson's, K-Bomb, Randolph Travel Service, the Windsor Arena, the Eyebrows Bookstore, Fisher Theater, Connolly's Jewelers, Rensselaer, Showerman's Party Store, and Dickens Den. The Wings and the Canadiens, Tuesday night, 7:30. Well, they each pick up 2 penalties, if I heard correctly said.
Right, 2 and 2.
Roughing minor penalties and major fighting penalties, so they'll be 7 minutes apiece.
Correction on the penalties, 5 minutes each for fighting. Time of the penalties, 11:20.
Now the play is at center ice. The offsetting penalties, the teams are at full strength. Jim Korn laid it to the line. On a delayed offside, McCourt skates it back out. Here's Dale McCourt backhanding it into the Pittsburgh zone. Anderson goes in after it. Anderson's pass knocked away by Ogrodnik, but it bounced loose, and down the right side is Lee. Peter Lee pulling up along the boards. His pass broken up by Foligno. He just cleared it back out center ice. Shot right back in, and this time it is offside. And the play back out over the Detroit blue line.
Pittsburgh are forcing the play. They're the team that has been carrying the puck. Detroit haven't started to really get their wheels going at all. And right here in the first 11, practically 12 minutes, the Wings still only have the 2 shots. Wayne Maxner changing his lines as fast as possible to see if he can get something going.
So the game remains 3-1 Pittsburgh with a little more than 8 minutes to play here in the first period. Nedemansky and Thompson on either side of Curtin. Greg Malone, he's got Hamilton on one wing and Lee on the other. This is Faubert driving it into the Detroit end. Off the boards on the right side, Larson left it there for Nedemansky. His pass at center ice. Lee tipped that away. Faubert back at his own blue line. Now Lee plays it up the left side. Hamilton carried into the Detroit zone. Drove it into the corner. Back after it, Curtin. Now Mark Curtin fired it along the boards. It went all the way back to the Pittsburgh blue line. Faubert, number 5 of Pittsburgh. Faubert carrying into the Detroit zone. Wound up for the shot. Barrett just tipped it away from him. Here's Nedemansky. Nedemansky over the line, trying to go through, and he's ridden off the puck. Coming back after it, Hamilton. Now Hamilton of Pittsburgh carrying back to the Detroit blue line with a shot deflected off Reed Larson. Barrett hands it back to Larson. Larson turns it back to Barrett in behind the Detroit goal. He's being checked right there. That's Kehoe sending it up on the left side. Peter Mahavlich and he going along the boards, and it'll be taken by Barrett. John Barrett bringing it out. His pass broken up right at the line by Faubert. Now Faubert handed ahead to Gardner, a pretty pass to Kehoe into the Detroit end. Rick Kehoe. His pass broken up right onto the stick of John Hamel. Hamel played it beyond Hicks. Peter Mahavlich has it. Now Mahavlich gives it to John Hamel. He just turned around, played it back into the Pittsburgh end. 6.5 minutes to go in the first period. Kehoe let it come out center ice, and here's Gardner after it. Gardner shoved off the puck by Paul Woods and Jim Korn. In behind his own goal, puck still loose there. Korn played it to the opposite corner. That's Stackhouse running into Hamel. Picking up the loose puck was Korn. And the Wings bounce it back to the Pittsburgh zone with Anderson back after it. Russ Anderson in behind his own net. Now Anderson moves out again for the Penguins. Cleared it on the right side to Stackhouse. Stackhouse shot deflected into the Detroit zone. Jim Korn goes after it. Along the boards on the right wing for Glenn Hicks. Hicks given a bump, the puck down the ice, back into the Pittsburgh end. On for the first time, former Red Wing Nick Libet wearing number 14. He just laid the pass off the skate of Johnson. Russ Anderson back to Johnson into the Detroit zone. Mark Johnson's pass broken up by Willie Huber. Johnson right back after it. Didn't wait long enough with Rissling still offside and the play back out over the Detroit blue line. We have 5 minutes, 31 seconds to play here in the first period. 3-1 Pittsburgh. At a total of 9 penalties, 5 to Detroit and 4 to Pittsburgh. With Kindrachuk and Polonic still in the penalty box and will be for another 4 minutes. Puck slides back into the Pittsburgh end. Dale McCourt, Foligno, and Ogrodnik up front for the Wings now. Foligno and Rissling doing some shoving along the boards. This is Faubert. Pass broken up by Dale McCourt. Ogrodnik played it back in. They whistle it down on the offside. And Rissling and Foligno are still doing a little stick jabbing.
Well, Mike should stay away from Rissling. He's just going to, that's all he's out there for, is to see if he can take somebody into the penalty box.
Well, Rissling has a great record of penalty time, as you said a little while ago. He played only 37 games in the National Hockey League, all with Washington. Scored 3 goals, had 4 assists, and 176 minutes in penalties.
Well, he's led practically every league he's been in, Bruce. And he's not that big. He's only 5'9", weighs 185 pounds, but he is tough. There's no doubt about it.
Well, this is what they felt they didn't have. And now he just pulled the stick right out of Foligno's hand. And the referee letting it go, and now he's going to wave Foligno off.
No, Larson
rather. And that puck is in the Detroit end, and Larson is going to go on.
The Wings have lost their cool when they make plays like this. Rissling just circled.
Well, we have a pause in the action. It's 3-1 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, here are some cool sounds coming at you on a sizzling summer day.
Rissling knocked Foligno's stick out of his hand. Mike tried to get away from him, and he pulled the stick out. Now, as he goes in over the blue line, Larson tripped him, wound up getting a penalty. The referee doesn't see the Foligno incident.
We're back to the live action now, as this is Gardner driving it into the corner. Gilbert came out of the net to play it away. Faubert held it in at the right point. Off to the side, Gardner again, back on the point to Faubert. Faubert off the circle to Gardner. Gardner put it right out in front. It was tipped away from Kehoe. Randy Carlyle with it. Carlyle giving it back to Kehoe. Rick Kehoe played it out in front. Gardner's shot deflected away. Now it's Faubert again. Faubert handing it off. That's Lonsbury with a shot right on. The save made by Gilbert, and Paul Woods plays it down the ice. Larson in for tripping at 15:01. He has a minute remaining in his penalty. Rick Kehoe over the line into the Detroit zone. Here's Kehoe, drove the shot. It deflected right on the net. And Gilbert kicked it away again. Peter Mahavlich. Now Mahavlich just eating up time. Played it back to Barrett. Barrett's going to have to hurry after it. Gilbert came out of the net. It was deflected to the corner. Lonsbury. Well, make it Jim Hamilton back on the blue line to Carlyle. Faubert deflected away by Errol Thompson. Barrett picks it up and shoots it down the ice. 25 seconds left in the penalty to Larson. Carlyle goes in behind his own goal. Now Carlyle up on the right side. Faubert steers it ahead for Hamilton over the line into the Detroit zone. Trying to work away from Jim Korn. That's Greg Malone. Malone moves in and he scores. And a power play goal makes it 4-1 Pittsburgh.
Well, penalties are going to beat you. You can't be sitting in there, Bruce. They just get in there. They move that puck around. Malone walked around a player, just moved in. This is a good play by Pittsburgh. He goes in the corner, makes the play back across. Now Malone comes in the picture, takes a perfect pass. One little deke around Peter Mahavlich, and then the shot right into the short side.
Hamilton and Carlisle draw the assist on the goal. Scored by Malone, a power play goal. Malone gets his 7th goal of the season, his 2nd of this game. And the Wings are down by 3. Now that's Dale McCourt trying to get Foligno moving. Puck held in by Willie Huber, bounced off to the side of the goal, and Millens just reached down and fell on top of it. And we have 2:44 to play in the period. Face off to the right of the Pittsburgh goal.
Detroit have still only had 2 shots here in the first period.
Pittsburgh's had 13. That's Kindrachuk over in the penalty box. He and Polonich with 1 minute and 15 seconds to serve in their 7 minutes of penalty time. Penguins move out again. Peter Lee. Now Lee dropped it off. He was checked by Korn. Foligno just worked it ahead. Ogrodnik back to Foligno over the Pittsburgh blue line. That's Dale McCourt with a shot. And the save made by Millen, and he falls on top of it, kneeling on it, out in front of the goal. And
like
2:29 remain, and we have a pause in the action with the score, 4-1 Pittsburgh, and we'll be back after this one.
What's the Peschke difference that makes the great American brand great? Well, for hot dogs, the Peschke difference is bursting with flavor goodness. In jumbo size and in super size for a bite of hot dog with every bite of bun. Bursting with flavor. That's the Peschke quality difference you can taste.
Peschke makes the difference that makes great American great.
Tell the folks at Great Scott that you want the bursting with flavor Great American hot dog.
Wings down by 3. The time running out in the first period. Rissling's pass broken up by Reed Larson. Paul Woods tips it back into the Pittsburgh zone. Laubert went in after it. Now moving out with it, Mark Johnson. Johnson driving it deep into the Detroit zone. Gilbert in behind his goal. Cleared it up the left side. Woods couldn't get it out. Laubert jumps in, but bringing it out now is Barrett. Over the line, Glenn Hicks. Hicks tried to get the shot away, and Carlisle stopped him. Now this is Barrett from center ice with a shot wide of the goal. And Rissling that time just up at it, and now goes right after Glenn Hicks. And really landed a punch while Hicks was just getting up. Well, you can see where he gets his penalty time, Sid, but I don't know the reason for that one at all.
No, nor do I. He tripped him. He was going to get the penalty for tripping Hicks, and while Hicks was on his hands and knees, he came over and really let a haymaker go. He's liable to get 7 minutes on this.
Glenn Hicks can handle himself, but he didn't have any idea there was a punch coming.
No doubt he's been told to do that. They're sending him right into the dressing room. I guess the reason, well, there's only 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. The interesting thing here is going to be if Glenn Hicks will get a penalty. After all, what are you supposed to do? Hicks is going to at least get a minor penalty by the looks of it.
18 minutes and 18 seconds, the penalties are called. Well, it is here from Peschke. Lean, flavorful Gunsberg's corned beef. Just great for parties, lunches, and hearty suppers. Gunsberg's corned beef, now at all Chatham markets. Well, this is what they wanted Rissling for, and I guess he's delivered it.
Well, in the long run, I can't see where this will help the hockey club. They have some pretty good hockey players. They've set out a few hockey players or a player tonight to dress a guy like Rissling.
Got a Pat Hughes, Lupien,
McAdam. This fellow's going to spend an awful lot of time in the penalty box, I'm going to say that. And,
I'll be interested to see what penalties. He should get 7 minutes here, which might mean the Red Wings will have a 5-minute man advantage.
You know, This call, Bruce, I've often thought, when I was coaching, I thought this was a bad call. When you're down on your hands and knees and a player comes over and takes a free punch at you, you've got to try and protect yourself in some way. You just can't stand there and let the fellow pummel you. So, in a way, I didn't think Hicks would get a penalty. I thought that if the referee called that right, he would give the double penalties right to Rissling.
You believe he gave Hicks 5 minutes?
I can't.
He gave Hicks 5 minutes and Rissling 5 minutes, and then he gave Rissling 2 for tripping and then gave him a game misconduct.
Well, the game misconduct doesn't mean a thing.
Why in the world?
How could Hicks get 5? I mean, after all, the guy jumps on you. What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. Here is Willie Huber dropping it back now. O'Grodny gives it back to Huber. Back it comes to Reed Larson with a shot, and that deflected off the side of the net up into the crowd. Millen may have got just a piece of it. I cannot figure the Glenn Hicks call. He was on his knees when the punch was thrown. So actually, just the 2-minute minor penalty is the difference. And Rissling, the game misconduct, I guess they figured he'd be out for the first period anyway.
Shows how wrong I was calling it. I thought Rissling would get 7 minutes and Hicks wouldn't get anything.
That's what I thought, too. Carlisle's pass knocked away by Mike Foligno. Then he reached out and pulled it in. And he's down on top of it, face off to the left of the Pittsburgh goal with 1:27 to play in the period. And the Wings could use one here.
They sure could. They've got to score the next goal or it's going to be a long evening.
There's a quick shot by Larson. He scores. That went right in off Millen.
Right through the goaltender. That Reed Larson, that was one of his patented shots.
And now it's 4-2. Larson has his second of the game.
We might be sorry that Rissling wound up getting so much time. Here's the shot. It comes back to Larson, and he moves in. Nobody challenged him. Millen got a good piece of that, but it just burned its way through into the net.
O'Grodny and McCourt draw the assist on the goal that tightens up the game at 4-2. Now the teams are back at full strength. Play in behind the Detroit goal. Larson sent it up the right side. It didn't come out. Kindrachuk's pass. Into the corner goes Ferguson. Ferguson put it to the side of the net. Gilbert knocked it away. That's Harold Thompson clearing it back out center ice. A minute to go in the first period. Reed Larson in behind his own goal after it. We're going to have a very interesting feature on the Detroit Red Wing Farm Club coming up between periods. Club at Adirondack. That'll be in our second intermission. This is Kindrachuk over the line. Kindrachuk clearing in behind the Detroit goal. Gilbert fanned on it, but Barrett has it. Barrett's pass broken up by Kindrachuk. Came back to the blue line. They battle there after it. Woods had the stick knocked out of his hand. Kindrachuk in the corner. A half a minute to go in the period. Puck deflected out in front of the Detroit goal. Schutt plays it into the corner for Ferguson. He was tied up along the boards by Barrett. And coming out now, Curtin. Ahead to Harold Thompson. He took the shot, and the play had been whistled down on the offside with 15 seconds remaining.
We have another out-of-town score. Hartford nothing, New York Islanders 2 in the first period.
You can see in our first intermission, we'll have the fan forum question, and the midgets and up tilt will be our feature on the 1-and-1.
Edmonton have taken a 2-0 lead over Toronto late in the first period. And Montreal are ahead of Chicago 1-0 late in the first period.
Now the play along the boards in the Pittsburgh zone. Just a few seconds remaining. Reed Larson didn't wait long enough. Shot it back in with Foligno rather slowly coming out of the offensive zone. So that's offside. And the play out at center ice with 4 seconds to go in the period. It's been a wild first period. 13 penalties in all. 7 to Detroit. 6, well, make it 7 if you want to call a game misconduct to Pittsburgh.
Detroit may regret the fact that Rissling received a 10-minute misconduct. He did her off the out here. He might wind up getting a couple more minors.
I believe it was a game misconduct, Sid. And if it was a game, he's gone for the rest of the night. And then why he would only get a minor penalty in addition to the 2 5-minute fightings doesn't make much sense at all. But at any rate, the first period is over from here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh with a score. The Pittsburgh Penguins 4 and the Detroit Red Wings 2.
There's
there's a lot to discover on 76 WJR.
Dave White, WJR News. Politicians on the move. Good news for local restaurant owners and...
At the 35, at the 30, at the 25, at the 20, at the 15, at the 10 and 5. Touchdown, Billy Sims. The Lions...
Ted Strasser with WJR's Patterns in Music for a lazy Sunday morning.
Listen, there's a lot to discover on 76 WJR.
Little Caesars asks, are you paying for one pizza and only getting one pizza? Somehow it happens. When you buy one pizza, the last slice always goes wanting, no matter how much everyone wants it. But it won't happen at Little Caesars, because only Little Caesars has the famous pizza. So everyone gets the good food they want, made with Little Caesars' finest meats, cheeses, and flours. And better still, they get all they want. Little Caesars. Where else can you get so much good food for so little money? Pizza. It means never having to say you're hungry.
Good pizza. Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
Want my Coke?
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the way it should be. I like to stay.
See you around.
The whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola has life. Have a Coke and a...
Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
This is Fan Forum, a chance for Red Wing fans to ask the questions. Now, here's Al Blade.
Our guest tonight on Fan Forum is Greg Rowan. Greg, where are you from and how long have you been following the Red Wings?
I'm from Farmington Hills, and I've been following the Wings for about 15 years.
Okay, and I understand that you're also a member of the Forum Club. Tell us a little bit about the club and how long you've been a member of that.
Well, I've been a member of the club for 2 years, and I'm on the board, which is sort of like part of the governing power of the club itself.
And what are some of the reasons behind the club, and what are some of the functions you do with the Red Wings?
Well, as the name says, it's Forum, win or lose, and that's what we're here for.
You do gone a lot of road games?
Yes, we'll be leaving in a week for Pittsburgh, and then 3 weeks after that, we're going to Toronto.
Okay, Greg, who do you have a question for?
My question's for Václav Nedemansky. When he first came here, he played on the line with Dennis Hextall and Nick Libet, and now he plays on the line with Woody and LeBratton. I'd like to know whether he'd play on a line with skaters or checkers.
Okay, Greg Roll, along with Václav Nedemansky, will join us after the next period of Red Wings hockey.
Well, they have a rather live edition of a one-on-one sort of play here at Pittsburgh between periods of the hockey game, and in just a moment or two, we're going to have our own one-on-one as they played it at the Joe Louis Arena. Sid, your comments on a rather wild first period of hockey here.
Well, Detroit got off to a terrible start, Bruce. You can't give up 2 goals in a minute and 53 seconds or so and expect to play well. I don't know what it is. They haven't skated in the first period on the last 3 games, but then Wayne Maxner talks to them, and they come out, and they just seem to take the bit by the... I got the expression wrong. But anyway, then they start carrying the play, and I expect them to do the same again tonight. Pittsburgh, in the meantime, have moved people in. They've been forcing the play. They're moving their defensemen inside the blue line, and the Wings were content to more or less stand around and watch things. You know, when you only have 2 shots on net in the first 18 minutes, you're not going to win many hockey games. Thank goodness Reed Larson got away a couple of terrific shots, because the Wings are still in this game, even though it is 4-2.
Larson with the 2 goals scored. The Red Wings had only 5 shots on goal in the entire period, and Pittsburgh had 14, and I would say that was almost the way the period was played. But with a number of penalties called in that hockey game or in the first period of the game, neither team really had an opportunity to get set. The Red Wings had a 2-man advantage, made good on it, and Pittsburgh did for 30-some seconds and failed to click on theirs. You can take a look now, Sid, at this bit of action.
Well, this is a case where the play had been stopped, and I think that's Peter Lee that just came in and swooped it along the short side and scored a goal. They scored 3 of their 4 goals on mistakes made by the Red Wings in deep, and I think Joe Bear got hurt. He had trouble getting up for somewhere around midway through the period, and I think Jill was a little mad at himself and probably mad at his teammates, because he didn't look as sharp as he ordinarily is. He just seemed as though he was fed up the way they were clearing the puck for him. And it wouldn't surprise me now that it'll be a different hockey club coming out in the second period.
Well, we have 40 minutes of hockey to play, and 2 goals does not seem nearly so insurmountable as the 3 that they had a moment ago.
Listen, 2 goals don't mean a thing in this type of a hockey game. Both teams have been very loose. Here's the shot now. There's Malone. Right, he went around Peter Mahavich. Now watch, he just, from there, with the screen out in front, he beat Joe Bear on the short side down low. And that was the Malone's second goal of the period. And Pittsburgh, they deserve their 4-2 lead. There's no doubt about that. The big thing is, did all that skating last night against Vancouver wear Detroit out?
Well, we can take a look at this now. The Red Wings have the extra man.
Well, here's the case where the puck is bounced around in front of the net and then comes out to Reed Larson. And Reed Larson, just from the top of the circle, plays one. And actually, the goaltender got a pretty good piece of that puck, and it just seemed to worm its way right through. It may have burned a hole in his pads because it was really gone.
Well, I am in complete agreement with you. I'm sorry to see Gary Rissling go because in that first period, he picked up a roughing penalty, and then Anderson went off with him. The Red Wings had their 2-man advantage with him off. Then he picked up the penalty for tripping and the 5 for fighting and the game misconduct, which I really don't quite understand. I'd like to hear the explanation of it because from our vantage point, it looked like Hicks, after being tripped, was trying to get up when Rissling threw the punch and sent him back down again. And Hicks picked up 5-minute fighting penalty, which I didn't see him fighting.
Well, I don't see how they can call a penalty like that either, Bruce. After all, the player got knocked down. The referee signaled for a penalty, meaning Rissling was getting a penalty for knocking Hicks down, the original thing. Then with Hicks on his hands and knees, Rissling came in and really threw the punch, and he landed too, then jumped on top of him, and then when it's all separate, when things are separated, they wind up. I actually thought Rissling would get 5 and 2, and Hicks wouldn't get a thing, because after all, he was just under attack, more or less.
Well, then the reason for a game misconduct doesn't really come together either unless there was further penalties to be assessed to Rissling, which they weren't. But the shots on goal, 14 Pittsburgh and 5 Detroit, pretty much told the story of that first period. The Red Wings are trailing by 2 with still 40 minutes of hockey to be played. Well, in just a moment, we are going to take a look at our 1-on-1 contest for tonight's intermission. We'll be back with that after we pause for this.
Before you even consider buying a Jeep Cherokee, make sure you're serious, because this one's not for show. This one's for go. There are other choices, including Broncos and Blazers, but only Cherokee has Jeep's legendary 4-wheel drive. An integral steel roof, not plastic, 2 or 4 doors, and only Cherokee has Jeep's record for durability. Here's your choice. Jeep Cherokee, the truck, from Jeep Corporation of American Motors.
Could he be someone special?
I think she's kinda neat.
Maybe he likes me.
Maybe she likes me. Wonder if we'll meet.
It's so hard, but when the hard part's through,
That's when we go for something easy,
like A&W, nothing so smooth as A&W, nothing so smooth as A&W.
The beautiful Joe Louis Arena is the ideal place for your next party for 50 to 750 people. The charm and professionalism of Joe Louis Arena will assure your party to be a memorable occasion. There are 4 beautifully decorated areas to accommodate all your special needs: banquets, business meetings, wedding receptions, fundraisers. And there are no rental charges when the buffet and bar services are used. For further information, call the Joe Louis Arena Club Room Manager at 963-4851. That's 963-4851. This is 1-on-1. Amateur athletes competing against each other head-to-head. Now, here's Bruce and Sid.
Sid, we've had an opportunity to look at a lot of the young hockey players out of the Detroit area over the last, 8 telecasts that we have done on our 1-on-1 competition. Tonight we're going about 60 miles west, and we have 2 teams out of Lansing. I'm going to find it kind of interesting to see how these kids...
Well, you know, we have a shooter from Lansing in the Danton Cole. I was just looking. He's played 4 years of travel hockey. That means this boy has been up and down the state and has played in an awful lot of buildings, scored a lot of goals last year, so we'll find out if the goaltenders are better than the shooters.
Danton Cole and his goaltender, Spencer Helmbrecht of the Lansing Uptilt. Well, their opposition tonight comes just from across town, really, the Lansing Midgets. So we have Lansing against Lansing, and Kevin Miller will be the shooter for the Midgets out of Lansing, and it'll be George Lipscomb in goal.
And George Lipscomb is 6 feet tall, a big boy for 15 years of age.
Now here's Kevin Miller for the Midgets in against Spencer Helmbrecht. And he lifted it over the crossbar. Well, again, to repeat the rules for you, the goaltender, when he makes a save, picks up a point. If the goaltender, or rather, if the shooter scores the goal, that, of course, is a point for his team. And there is the first goal of the game, fired in by Danton Cole, the young man you were talking about.
Beautiful, beautiful play and a beautiful shot. Here we go back to, here's now watch this fake here. Pulls away over to his right, and he finds a lot of the net. The goaltender cannot recover fast enough. He tries to throw his body, but he can't do it. This is a beautiful goal. And a real good effort by the goaltender, too.
Kevin Miller with the shirt tail hanging out, moving in on Spencer Helmbrecht now. Kevin trying to get the midgets back into it. He made a move, and he had the goaltender going in the opposite direction.
You talk about faking a goaltender out. He had the goaltender backed right into the net, and the goaltender actually fell backwards into the net.
Well, that was a good move.
There's a lot of moves, and he would have deked, I think, nearly anybody in the building out there. He made several quick moves.
So coming out the ice now, this again is Danton Cole, and Cole fired it right into the goaltender that time. So it was the save made by Lipscomb that gives the Midgets a 2-1 lead. Well, Kevin made a great play last time. See what he can do now. Kevin Miller with a shot. Oh, and he fired that by the upper right-hand corner.
Spencer Helmbrecht had no chance on that. He just made the wave, which you find most goaltenders will do.
3-1 lead for the Midgets now. Danton Cole tries again. Lost control for the moment. And then sticking that right leg pad out, George Lipscomb makes the save, and very quickly the Lansing Midgets lead the Lansing up tilt 4-1.
And the height of Lipscomb there, his long legs, got the pad over in time.
Kevin Miller, he's had good moves, and he hit the crossbar with that one. Hit the crossbar, so it's no point, and he was just about an inch away from giving his team the victory.
Kevin Miller's played 8 years as a center in the Lansing Amateur Hockey Program, and he attended training camp in Colorado.
Danton Cole made the big fake, took his time, and slides it by to make it now 4-2, the Midgets over the up tilt.
Now there's this just shows, well, Danton Cole with 48 goals last year. Now he is against a 6-foot goaltender, and he pulled far enough over to take that height advantage away from the goaltender.
Kevin Miller can give his team the victory now if he can score right here and now. He made the move, but he was stopped. A good sliding save.
That won't count as a shot at all, Bruce. The goaltender didn't have to make a save.
Well, see, I missed it from my angle then. I thought he'd had it. So let's see what Danton Cole can do. Cole made the move. Now that would
be a save. I would think the goaltender actually made contact with the puck, and this
so
game
as it is a save, that's it. 5-2. The Lansing Midgets defeat the Lansing up tilt, and we'll go on to quarterfinal action in a future telecast. Let's look at this last one.
He got in a little too close. He was actually right on the goal crease and tried to pull the goaltender, and there again, the tall goaltender got his foot out, stopped the puck from going to the net.
Which means that in a later telecast, we'll watch the Lansing Midgets see if they can earn their way towards semifinal play. So that's it. We'll be back on our next telecast with another version of our one-on-one.
This has been One-on-One, brought to you by your Metro AMC Jeep and Renault dealer. Come in for a test drive today.
We'd like to introduce the 1981 American Motors Concorde.
Pretty ain't enough anymore, mister.
You're right, but Concorde's more than just good looking. This luxury compact's made of the same stuff you are.
Huh?
Steel. Galvanized steel. Concorde's the only American car with galvanized steel in 100% of the exterior body panels.
But is it tough on gas?
Concorde beats Chevy Citation.
Mister, you might be onto something.
See the all-new 1981 AMCs at your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep dealer.
Within a few moments, the entire world will capitulate to me.
Monday night at 8, Christopher Lee is at his diabolical best in The Brides of Fu Manchu.
These girls will be your companions. At first, they too were unwilling, but now they live only to serve me. Destroy!
The Brides of Fu Manchu, Monday night at 8 on TV 50.
Now, you can order Red Wing souvenirs and gift items by mail. Choose from a wide variety of distinctive souvenirs. Over 200 items ranging from keychains to jerseys, T-shirts, pennants, hats, baseball caps, plus Red Wing jackets with crest in sizes to fit both boys and fathers. They're great for gift giving or for yourself. For a free brochure, call the Red Wings at 963-8400 or write Detroit Red Wings, 600 Civic Center Drive, Detroit 48226. Call 963-8400.
Guests on Red Wing Hockey receive a gift from Zales the Diamond Store, a quartz watch from Seiko, who feature dress and sporty watches. Seiko, someday all watches will be made this way. Featured at Zales the Diamond Store.
And we are with you again from here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, where the Detroit Red Wings trail the Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 4-2 after a wild first period. The Detroit Red Wings with 7 penalties in the period. Pittsburgh had 6 plus Risling's game misconduct. And Sid, we waltzed around here during the one-on-one presentation, and nobody seemed to have an explanation.
Clear-cut, no explanation of it.
Well, in the period, you can see the Red Wings gave up 2 quick goals, just 36 seconds apart. Gardner tipping in the shot by Stackhouse, and then Malone, as he swung in behind the goal, came out in front to make it 2-0 Pittsburgh. And the Red Wings' Reed Larson got one back on the power play unassisted as he knocked down a clearing pass. Peter Lee then made it 3-1. And then Malone made it 4-1 on a power play with Larson in the penalty box. But then Larson got it back with just 1 minute and 23 seconds to play in the period. And that could be a very big goal because the Wings have to feel that they're right back into it. Billy Day said as he was down in the dressing room area, came back here a few moments ago and said Wayne doesn't seem to be too concerned right now. He feels that they got the bad period out.
Well, if the Wings score the next goal, Bruce, I would say they'll probably win the hockey game, because Pittsburgh, while they had a clear-cut advantage here in the first period, and with all those penalties called, they still only have a 4-2 lead, and they scored 2 of the goals in the first minute and 53 seconds, so they didn't show that much of an attack either. It wasn't a good period of hockey, really. And last night, or the Vancouver game, I would think the second and third periods were the finest 2 periods of hockey you could see.
Well, we'll see if we can turn it around here tonight. And right here on that subject, you are with TV 50 WKBD, your station for sports in Detroit. Well, there's Billy we talked about a moment ago.
Billy thinks that the game misconduct penalty was called on Whistling for intent to injure. And I just don't quite follow that.
Doesn't
because,
make any sense either. Because
then I can't figure out, well, why Hicks got 5 minutes for not fighting. Hicks was tripped, knocked down, and while he was down, was jumped on, and he winds up getting 5 minutes. So there was only actually a 2-minute differential in the penalties.
Well, at any rate, the teams are both at full strength. The Wings trail by 2, and we get the second period underway. That's Reed Larson being checked by Carlisle right at center ice. Puck came back to Barrett, back in his own zone. John Barrett trying to pull away from Kindrachuk. Mike Foligno dumped it out. It'll be brought right back in by Ferguson with that shot that sailed wide of the goal. Larson banged at it but didn't get it out. Kindrachuk holds it in. Horace Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk turning deep in the Detroit end. Bumped by Foligno. Larson trying to tie up his man. They go along the boards. That's shut. Now Foligno goes in with Kindrachuk, and they hold it for a face-off to the right of the Detroit goal. If you are keeping score, they made a scoring change on Pittsburgh's 4th goal. The power play goal by Greg Malone. Originally, they had Hamilton and Carlisle on the assist. Now it is Hamilton and Faubert. They took it away from Carlisle and gave it to Faubert. Face-off will be to the right of the Detroit goal. Kindrachuk in against McCourt. McCourt wins the draw. In behind his own goal now is Larson. Reed Larson dumped it out center ice. It bounced away from Ferguson. Mike Foligno, Grodnik over the line. Here's Dale McCourt with a shot, and he fired that wide. Foligno holds it in along the board. Took a check from Faubert, dug out of the corner by McCourt. Then they hold it again, and a face-off stays, this time to the right of Greg Millen in the Pittsburgh goal.
The big thing to watch now to see if the Wings start going on the attack and see if they can get right back in this game. They've got to put some pressure on this Pittsburgh Hockey Club. They've given up a lot of goals this year, and there's no doubt about it. A team that moves in on them and makes the defensemen make plays around the boards that you can probably make them cough the puck up and get a good chance to score.
Now Mark Curtin with Harold Thompson left wing, and on the right side is Nedemansky. Curtin dumps it in toward the corner. Stackhouse plays it in behind his own goal. Anderson And that is cleared all the way back into the Detroit end. They wave off any icing. Korn comes back to play it. Jim Korn's pass knocked away out in front and then played too far and bounced up into the crowd off the stick of Stackhouse. You know, we have talked a little bit about the games coming up at the Joe Louis Arena. There's a spot at the Joe Louis Arena, too, that I don't think too many of the fans are familiar with, the Executive Lounge, which is up on the 4th floor in the box area up there. And it is open to the general public for dinner before all the home games, open from 5 o'clock until 7. And if you'd like more information on it, you can call 963-4851, the Joe Louis Arena. Willie Huber playing it into the corner. Jim Korn's pass knocked away. Merrill Thompson went in along the boards after it. Stackhouse has him covered, and the play stays this time in the Detroit end.
And there's an example of forechecking. 2 players raced into the corner to get after Jim Korn and Larson, and the pass coming back, the 3rd forward moved in from the opposite side. First thing you know, they cause a face-off deep in Detroit's zone. That's exactly the way Detroit have to move in on Pittsburgh if they're going to get back in this hockey game. Errol Thompson talking things over. They go off the ice. Mark Curtin didn't play last night because of a groin injury, and he's still hurting, but Wayne Maxner thought he'd play him tonight because even if he just took penalties, that he would help the hockey club.
Now that's Barrett dumping it along the board on the right side. Dennis Polonich firing it out center ice. Falver back at his own blue line. Now the Penguins' Malone cleared it back into the Detroit zone. Gilbert played it away. Peter Lee left it into the corner. Malone handed it back to Lee, and he scores. Gilbert may have got a piece of it, but it's now 5-2.
That went right through Gilbert's legs up high, and Gilles a little mad at himself. He had the angle cut. The puck come out of the corner. Peter Lee just makes a quick snap shot. Right back, Malone out to Lee, and Lee in close, right through his pads. Gilbert thought he had it, but didn't have those legs closed tight. That's a big goal for Pittsburgh to score here early in the period.
Lee's 2nd goal of the hockey game, his 12th on the year, and Drake Malone draws the assist.
Detroit is changing goaltenders. Young Lazinski's coming in. Gilles Gilbert is coming out of the net. We'll see if this works the way it did for Detroit just a week or so ago in Winnipeg. Yes, Lazinski gave up 2 quick goals. Maxner made the change and put Gilbert in, and the Wings come back and scored 4 to win it 4-3.
Puck driven back into the Detroit zone. Reed Larson goes back after. That was the first shot on goal for either of the 2 teams. That's Reed Larson playing it into the Pittsburgh zone, into the corner, Carlisle. Up on the left side, Hamilton didn't get it out. A quick shot by McCourt went way wide. Dennis Polonich takes it off the board, and they hold it there. Face-off remains in the Pittsburgh end. Still in the penalty box is Glenn Hicks, who normally would be on this line. We have a pause in the action. 5-2 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
Little Caesars asked, are you paying for 1 pizza and only getting 1 pizza? And these days, the price of 1 medium pizza ranges from $4.15 to as high as $7.25.
$7. Take it or leave it.
But only Little Caesars gives you 2 medium pizzas for just $5.65. So you get the good food you want, and better still, you get all you want. Little Caesars. Where else could you get so much good food for so little money?
2 pizzas, 1 price? They must do it with mirrors.
Penguins have the play, bringing it out center ice, number 11, Ferguson. That's broken up by Huber. Dale McCourt handing it back to Willie Huber. Wings down by 3. Still 17 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the 2nd period. Long shot from center ice, fired by Korn. Millen knocks it away. First shot of the period for the Wings. Now Anderson played it up on the left side. This is Schutt with it. Schutt driving it into the Detroit zone. Ferguson goes in after it. Played in behind the Detroit goal. Polino took a whack at it. Korn just sent it back to the blue line, and Stackhouse took that shot, deflected over the top of the goal. Mike Polino, a good quick pass ahead to McCourt. Got Ogrodnik down the left side. Puck slipped away from him, and then Stackhouse takes it in behind his own net. Stackhouse pass broken up by Polino. Mike Polino with it in the circle, but shoved off the puck there. Now it comes out to Johnston, and it's driven out center ice with McCourt back after it. John Ogrodnik again up on the right side. Polino over the line. Mike Polino tried to work it through to Ogrodnik. That's broken up. Kehoe cleared it not out. Following up, Russ Anderson sends it out center ice, over the line, Rick Keogh. Keogh with a shot. That's off the glass. Willie Huber clearing it ahead now to Foligno. Foligno leads a three-man rush, just drove a long shot. Millen handles that. In behind his own goal, Lonsberry. Wings changing on the move, up the right side, Faubert. Faubert checked from behind by McCord, played it in behind the Detroit goal. Lazinski leaves it there for Larson. Larson had trouble with it. Kehoe in behind the Detroit goal. Kehoe right out in front, got it right through the goal crease. Here's Faubert. Faubert put it out in front, knocked away by Barrett. Now Lonsberry hands it off to Gardner, and it was Nedomansky came back to break that up. Nedomansky handed it right out in front. There's Kehoe again. Barrett knocked it away from him. Nedomansky starts back. His pass tipped away by Lonsberry. Ross Lonsberry, number 18, shooting it back into the Detroit zone. Lazinski played it up the left side. Harold Thompson couldn't get to it. Kehoe played it into the corner. Lonsberry trying to set up Gardner. Barrett came in, knocked it away from him. Takes it in along the boards. He is holding it there, kicking away at it, moving the puck. Came off to the left side. Faubert holds it in. And again, Barrett goes into the corner. This time they hold it long enough for a whistle. Thursday night at 7:30, live college basketball. The Michigan State Spartans take on the Indiana Hoosiers right here on TV 50.
Lazinski's first shot was high over the net. He just made a little wave at. Lazinski's what they call a stand-up goaltender. He plays his angles very well. Played an exceptional game, his opening game, a tie game out in Edmonton, and then started the very next night and appeared quite nervous and allowed 2 goals early in the first couple of minutes or so, and Wayne Maxner pulled him and put Gilbert in and come back and won the hockey game.
Did Joe Gilbert just went across to the Detroit dressing room with Ole Olsevich, so he's been shaken up. Playing behind the Detroit goal, Lazinski played it in the corner to Willie Huber. Back it comes now to Korn. Jim Korn up the left wing. That's Hicks. Hicks pass deflected in. Dennis Polonich giving chase to it. But he's ridden off the puck. Paul Woods holding it in. Here's Woods playing it back to Willie Huber. Huber with time, drove the shot, knocked down right to Millen, and he holds on to it. Face-off remains in the Pittsburgh end, off to the left of the Penguins' goal. 5-2, Pittsburgh leads it. 14 minutes, 36 seconds still to go in the second period.
Dennis Polonich, he's the leading penalty killer for Detroit 3 years in a row.
Not penalty killer, penalty server.
Server, right.
Now it's Stackhouse going after the loose puck. It's played out center ice. They're going to call an icing as Jimmy Korn is back after it, and the play will come back into the Pittsburgh end. The Red Wings return home to meet the Montreal Canadiens. That'll be Tuesday night at the Joe Louis Arena, and if you can't make it firsthand, and I imagine there'll be a heck of a crowd on hand, then we invite you to join us on WJR Radio at 7:25. Tuesday night, Montreal.
New York Islanders have taken a 4-0 lead over Hartford, and Chicago and Montreal are tied 1-1 in the second period.
Now the puck came right out in front. That's Hamilton bringing it down the left side. Playing it into the Detroit zone. Huber stopped him, and Dennis Polonich's pass tipped away by Peter Lee. Driven right back into the Detroit zone. Willie Huber trying to work away from Hamilton. He struggled in along the boards. It's Paul Woods that came in to cover up. Cleared now to Korn. Jim Korn's pass tipped out center ice. Stackhouse has it there. Shot it back in offside. Puck ended up in the crowd, so the play out over the Detroit blue line. And with a pause in the action, 5-2 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
Hello, I'm Bill Kennedy. Here are some scenes from our movie tomorrow afternoon at 1.
Cary Grant has family problems. An uncle who thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt. And 2 lovable old aunts who kill people.
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear. We know.
Arsenic and Old Lace, my movie tomorrow at 1 on TV 50.
Wings moving over the blue line, and Dale McCord unloading a shot deflected up into the crowd. The Wings have outshot Pittsburgh 3-1 at this stage of the second period, but the one shot, the goal by Peter Lee.
Here's a case of nice play between Ogrodnik and McCourt. McCourt pulls up and from well back of the blue line, right along the ice. I don't know, but what he hit the outside of the goalpost, deflected up, possibly off the goaltender's stick, up into the crowd.
Face off to the right of the Pittsburgh goal. McCourt and Kindrachuk. McCourt won the draw. Grodnik's shot went just wide. Carlisle chases it into the corner. Now Carlisle hands it off to Faubert out at center ice. Kindrachuk turning away from Barrett's check. Laid it back out to John Ogrodnik. And Ogrodnik giving it to Reed Larson ahead to Barrett. Barrett's pass broken up, and here now is Schutt. Shooting it back into the Detroit zone. Lazinski out of the goal. He almost lost it back there. Reed Larson trying to cover up and rolled away from him. That's Schutt playing it back to the Detroit net again. Kindrachuk has it. Ferguson. Now Ferguson. Played it back to the blue line. Carlisle with a shot, and Lazinski knocked that away. Puck driven in behind the goal again. Ferguson put it out in front, but it's Ogrodnik with it. Now Ogrodnik's pass. Carlisle knocked that away. Knocked down by Larson now on the left wing to Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik's shot broken up. Here's Foligno trying to move in. He put it right off the side, and McCourt just couldn't reach the pass. Dale McCourt checked. The puck slides back out center ice. McCourt back after it. Ferguson chasing him. Now Dale McCourt again. He's hauled to the ice, and now there'll be a penalty coming up to Kindrachuk of Pittsburgh, and the Wings will have the extra men. First penalty of the second period.
Well, Kindrachuk was hooked on McCourt. McCourt doing a lot of circling out in center ice, trying to get back into position. Kindrachuk put the big hook up waist high and pulled him down. Automatic penalty there.
The latest news, weather, and sports. TV 50's Independent Network News immediately following tonight's game.
Another update on the New York Islander Hartford. New York Islanders now ahead of Hartford 6-0 midway through the second period. Edmonton 2, Toronto 1 midway in the second period.
Now Reed Larson. Detroit with the extra man. The hooking call to Kindrachuk at 7:25. Willie Huber dumped it off to the side of the goal. Anderson fired it back to the point. Reed Larson stopped it there. Took the shot. He scored! Right out in front was Curtin. Whether he touched it or not,
I don't know. I would think someone probably deflected that. Reed Larson from right inside the blue line on a play that come around from behind the net. Puck was thrown in, chased around, and Pittsburgh themselves cleared the puck out to Larson. Right there, Anderson shooting it off the boards. It come right out to the point to Larson, and Larson wheeled it right from there. And I don't know. I think possibly it was deflected, but yes, Curtin gets the goal.
Larson breaking up the pass, gets the assist. So the third power play goal for Detroit. Larson scored 2, assisted on the other. Lazinski hands it off now to Dennis Polonich down the right side. The Wings are down by 2, and then Polonich is tripped going over the line, and the play into the corner. Anderson played it up on the left side. Knocked away by Jim Korn, but picking it up as Lonsberry, and way offside was Paul Gardner.
Again, I'll say it now, if the Wings score the next goal, we're going to see ourselves a hockey game here before it's all over, thanks to the shooting of Reed Larson.
Mark Curtin getting his 4th goal as a Detroit Red Wing. Tipping in the shot from the blue line by Larson at 7:43.
We haven't seen Danny LeBratton at all this period. 2 or 3 players. I don't think Perry Miller's been on the ice this period.
LeBratton was on the one shift, Sid. He and Polonich. Then Mahovlich. Into the corner and in behind his own goal, Jim Korn. It's taken now by Paul Woods. 11.5 minutes to play in the second period. Woods drives it deep into the Pittsburgh end. Millen cleared it along the board. Woods struggling there with Kehoe. Getting into it, taking it away. That's Hicks putting it out in front. And Willie Huber came back to the blue line to hold it in. In behind the goal, Hicks trying to center it. Turned around by Faubert. Paul Woods kicking away at it. Laid it loose, but Carlisle has it for Pittsburgh. And Carlisle just cleared it to the line. Willie Huber held it in. It came right back to Randy Carlisle. Now Carlisle down the left side. Lifting it high in the air, and again it was way offside with Kehoe down the left wing ahead of the play. And with a pause in the action, and Pittsburgh leading 5-3, we'll be back in just a moment.
This bud's for everyone who wraps it, stacks it, and sacks it.
his buds for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Face off in the center ice zone. The wings of Dale McCord, Ogrodnik, and Foligno. Larson and Barrett. Kindrachuk will move in against McCord. He's got Ferguson up on the right side, Lonsberry on the left wing. Stackhouse and Anderson back along the defense. McCord cleanly wins the face-off. Larson gives it to Barrett, ahead to McCord. McCord's pass, though, knocked away by Stackhouse, ends up in the Pittsburgh bench. So the play stays still in center ice.
Midway to the second, Quebec 3, Buffalo 1. Midway to the second, Chicago 1, Montreal 1.
Kindrachuk will go in against McCord, still in the center ice zone. Puck back into the Detroit end, going back after it, Reed Larson. Larson circling in behind Luzinski. Left it there, Ogrodnik hands it off. It's loose in the Detroit zone, and Foligno goes into the corner with it, being chased by Kindrachuk, and scoops it back into the Pittsburgh end. Digging after it, Stackhouse. 10.5 minutes to play, second period. That's Anderson. Anderson's pass tipped away. Kindrachuk covers up. Over the line, a long shot by Schutt. Luzinski stops that, having trouble with it. Finally just reaches out and holds on to it.
Luzinski holds his ground real well, Bruce. He comes out to the edge of the goal crease, stands there. He's a pretty good-looking goaltender for a youngster. This shot is right from the blue line, and he just comes out. He's a big fella. He was going to try and clear that puck in the corner, and he had a little trouble picking it up with his goal stick, and then he elected to freeze the puck.
Rod Schutt moving right in on top of him. Face off in the circle to the left side of the Detroit goal. Puck just slid to Luzinski. That's Jim Korn up the right side for Nedomansky. Nedomansky to Curtin. He's got Thompson on the left side. Thompson over the line, trying to go through, but Peter Lee covered up. Faubert. And he cleared it out center ice. Willie Huber takes it there, drives it right back in, and Millen deflects it up into the crowd. So that keeps the face-off in the Pittsburgh end, off to the right side of the Penguins' goal.
Now, that's not a good move by a goaltender on a shot taken from center ice. There's no reason in the world why you would deflect that puck up into the crowd. Millen's had a lot of success against Detroit, and I should add, Detroit, for some reason, Bruce, don't play well here in the Igloo in Pittsburgh. Just don't seem to be able to get things together.
Curtin won the draw, but Huber with a bouncing puck had trouble with it. It's cleared to Peter Lee. Lee trying to work around Jim Korn. Puck still bouncing loose in the corner. There's a shot fired wide of the net, and there's going to be a penalty coming up as Huber spilled Peter Lee again. And as Detroit gains possession, the penalty will be called. I'm not sure it's Huber.
Yes, I think
it is.
Willie,
Yes, it is.
Willie Huber knocked Lee back down right out in front of the net. Here's a case where they let the player come back and take a shot. He missed the open corner, and Willie just kept following up and knocked him down. Winds up getting a penalty.
CTC makes purchasing Red Wing tickets easier than ever. Red Wing tickets are now available at all CTC outlets, including Hudson's, K-Bombs, Randolph Travel Service, Windsor Arena, the Eyebrows Bookstore, Fisher Theater, Connolly's Jewelers, the Rensselaer, Showerman's Party Store, and the Dickens Den.
We mentioned the fact that so many Forum Club members are here, but here's three young people, Paul, Matt, and Tom from Redford, want to say hi to their families. They drove all night, and it snowed here all day long, so they had tough driving to get here to see this game.
Huber's off for high sticking at 10:24. The Wings clear the puck into the Pittsburgh zone. Big sign up across from us. Redford, Michigan says go Red Wings. They've got some going to go. They're down by 2, just past the 10-minute mark of the second period. And the Wings are down a man right now. Luzinski lost the puck back there. Kehoe put it off to the side. Covering up was Barrett. Now Faubert hands it off to Gardner in behind the goal. Kehoe again. Rick Kehoe into the corner. Played it back to the blue line to Carlisle. That's Kehoe with it, being bothered. It was knocked away by Larson. Puck sent to the blue line, brought back in, and the play just barely offside. So we'll come out over the Detroit blue line.
Detroit have to get over this penalty. They can't afford to go down by 3 here with 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the second period. Down by 2 if the Wings were to score the next goal. They're right back in the thick of things.
All 3 Detroit goals have been on the power play. Larson scoring 2 of them, and his third one just tipped in by Curtin. Paul Woods bounced it out to center ice again. Carlisle back after it. 1:10 left in the penalty. Now Randy Carlisle lifting it back in. Sealed it on the short hop by Lazinski. Played it into the corner. That's Gardner with it off the side of the net. A centering pass just knocked away. Faubert hands it back to Carlisle. Now Faubert moving in. He played it out in front. They took the shot wide, and down on top of the puck is Lazinski. And it just came loose as the whistle blew.
Got a little break there, a quick whistle, and the puck, I think Lazinski thought it was underneath him, but it was lying just off to the side and then popped out into the open.
So the face-off remains deep in the Detroit end. 49 seconds left in Huber's penalty.
Here's Faubert moving in. He makes a perfect pass across out in front. The shot was not that hard, but Lazinski didn't get a hold of it. It bounced out in the open, and Pittsburgh come up with it, but the whistle had gone. George Hvranic and Myron Kloss and Mike Kanash would like to say hello to their friends back in Detroit.
Face off in a circle off to the left of the Detroit goal. Gaining possession, Mark Curtin. Curtin feeds it ahead. Errol Thompson is one-on-one with Carlisle. Carlisle knocked it away from him. Puck played into the corner. Carlisle in after it. Up the right side to Rod Schutt. Schutt hands it back to Carlisle. Carlisle ahead. That's Kindrachuk carrying over the line into the Detroit zone. Ferguson to Carlisle. He sets up Faubert. Faubert took the shot, hit the goal post. Banged it off the goal post. Now Carlisle again. Randy Carlisle back along the blue line. Ferguson's pass broken up. Here's Curtin starting out. He's got Larson with him. Curtin over the line. He left the puck right there, so Larson drives it back to Thompson. And Thompson shoots it in. And the seconds are ticking off. Just a couple left as Huber is up and set to come out of the penalty box. And the Wings have fought off the Pittsburgh power play. 7.5 minutes now to go here in the second period. Play in the Detroit zone. Lazinski came out, cleared it up on the left side for Thompson. Errol Thompson's pass. Schutt takes it right out in front with that shot. Lazinski steering it into the corner. Greg Malone bumped there by Jim Korn. They came up with elbows a little high. Now Jim Korn does some shoving with Malone. Reed Larson ahead to Errol Thompson. Now Willie Huber, and Huber just slides it in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Anderson goes in after it. Russ Anderson up the left side, now to Hamilton. Jim Hamilton to Malone. Malone driving it deep into the Detroit end. Ogrodnik of the Wings, back of his own goal. Played it up on the left side. Foligno played it ahead. Dale McCord had broken his stick. Back to the bench. Gets a new one there as the play went into the Pittsburgh end. Anderson. Wings could have been dangerous had McCord had a hockey stick, but he had broken his. It was back along the Detroit blue line. Willie Huber lost it in behind the goal. Going into the corner, Hamilton. Jim Hamilton trying to gain control a second time. They hold it to the boards for the moment. The puck came loose. With it, Hamilton with a shot. And the save made by Lazinski, and there'll be a penalty coming up as Mike Foligno caught a stick up high. And the Red Wings are going to have a power play chance, and Foligno being attended to by the linesman.
Peter Lee stick come up and hit him in the face. Mike had a chance to break right out. Lefty Wilson's out there taking a look at him now. Lee is definitely going to get a penalty.
You worry about an eye in a situation like that. So with Lee going in, the Red Wings trailing by 2 will have the extra man. We'll be back with our power play in a moment.
What's the pesky difference that makes the Great American brand great? It's in every Great American brand product. Deli fresh lunch meats, lean and firm hams, extra lean bacon, smoked sausage and spicy Polska kielbasa, and those bursting with flavor hot dogs. Pesky makes the quality difference you can taste.
Pesky makes the difference that makes Great American great.
Pesky Great American brand products have the quality difference you can taste. Available at all A&P supermarkets.
A loose puck bouncing out in front of the Detroit net with Mike Foligno taking chase after it, and just as he picked it up, Peter Lee sticked him up as he was reaching out to get him, and he hit him right in the face. Mike has gone to the dressing room for repairs, so no doubt he's been cut. A 2-minute minor penalty to Peter Lee.
If there had been any intention on the play at all, it would have been a 5-minute penalty because of the injury. Now McCourt starts Nethermansky over the line, back to Dale McCourt, and he tried to set up Larson, who was moving in the opposite direction, and Larson comes back quickly to retrieve the puck back over the line. Here's Larson at the right point. Into the corner to Nethermansky, and Nethermansky lost it, taken away. And coming back down the ice is Kindrachuk. Going after it, Ferguson in behind the goal. Huber rode him off the puck. Nethermansky takes Larson's pass. 3 of the wings move out. With the extra man, Nethermansky offside. McCourt in ahead of the stick-handling Nethermansky. Lee went off for high sticking at 13:42. He has a minute 14 remaining in his penalty. The Wings have scored 3 power play goals.
The Wings have scored the 3. They haven't had a shot on net here on this power play. This is could be a very important power play to them if they can get the goal to get back within 1.
Nethermansky led the Wings last year in power plays. He's been short of the power plays this time, but one of the reasons being that he hasn't been playing the power play that much. They have been going primarily with a line of Ogrodnik and Polino, McCourt, Huber, and Larson. Now the play back to the Detroit zone. The Wings have the extra man for a minute 5. Larson up on the right side to Dale McCourt. McCourt pulling away from Kindrachuk's check. Over the line, he handed it off to Larson, and his shot deflected by Carlisle. Larson controls it. Here's Reed Larson playing it back now to Nethermansky with a shot. The save made by Millen, and the puck cleared to the line and out to center ice by Carlisle. Reed Larson again. Larson giving it to Dale McCourt. He slid it right to the goal mouth, and Millen is going to hold on to it.
Millen's looked a little shaky in the Pittsburgh net. If the Wings could get in there and get some shots at him, he's fighting that puck a little bit.
We'll have the face-off and the circle off to the left of the Pittsburgh goal. The Wings now send Paul Woods out with Glenn Hicks and Dennis Polonich. A little less than 5 minutes to play here in period number 2. In the face-off, Woods works it back. Larson. Reed Larson driving it in behind the goal, going after it Hicks. Glenn Hicks sends it back to Larson. Larson fired the shot, knocked down out in front, and Dennis Polonich digging after it. Now Polonich slides it back of the net to Hicks. He lost it, and it's taken away, and Pittsburgh feeds it off to Ferguson. And Ferguson drives it back into the Detroit zone. Just 12 seconds left in the penalty as Larson winds up again. And Larson lost control of it. Look out, here's Pittsburgh moving out in front. Malone's shot deflected into the corner. Larson tips it away. Paul Woods ran into Hicks. Hicks got it back to Woods. Penalty's over. Pittsburgh's at full strength. Pass up the right side. Anderson and Dennis Polonich. It comes out to Mark Johnson. Now Reed Larson. Larson's been on a long time. Hit the linesman D'Amico. Picked it up again. Still the Wings didn't get it in. Paul Woods has it. Woods just dumps it into the corner, goes charging in after it. That's Stackhouse, number 3. John Ogrodnik ran into his man, and then Woods hit Ogrodnik on the back. The puck coming out to the center ice. Dumped back into the Detroit zone. Lazinski played it up on the right side for Willie Huber. The left corner for Jim Korn. Now Korn ahead to Dale McCourt again. McCourt swings it back to Ogrodnik. Things trying to get organized now as John Ogrodnik carries over the line, and McCourt had gone in on the right side ahead of the play. It is offside. And a pause in the action. 5-3 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
Come experience what lies beyond the sports car. American Motors introduces Eagle SX4, the new four-wheel drive sport machine. Eagle SX4 outcorners Trans Am in soft sand, out-accelerates Mustang Turbo in loose dirt, outbreaks MGB on dry pavement. Plus, the four-wheel drive Eagle SX4 beats them all in gas mileage. Experience driving in the fourth dimension with American Motors.
3 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the second period. 2-goal lead for Pittsburgh, 5-3. Play in the Detroit zone. Lonsberry shoved off the puck by Danny LeBratton. He's out there in place of the injured Polino. Played up the left side. John Ogrodnik in after it. Now Ogrodnik just lifted it out. It bounced right to Stackhouse at center ice. Back to Anderson and away from him. Cleared all the way back out. Here's Willie Huber with it, moving it back in. Huber fired the shot. It deflected off Anderson, and Millen banged it off the glass. And Anderson couldn't find it, turns around, picks it up. Rick Kehoe coming out. That's Gardner. Play broken up by McCourt. With it now, Lonsberry. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the second period. Ross Lonsberry back over the line, dumping it in along the boards, in behind the Detroit net. Lazinski handed it there to Willie Huber. Pass got away from Korn. That's Kehoe with it, back on the line. Faubert's pass knocked away. Here's the lead pass to Dale McCourt. McCourt trying to move in. McCourt handed it right out in front. And the shot fired by Thompson off. Here's McCourt trying to hold it in. Being checked there, grabbed by Gardner. The shot hit the side of the net, fired by Danny LeBrat and put it out in front. Errol Thompson kicked it into the corner. It came back to the line. Willie Huber took a swing at it. Then it's picked up, and now over the line. Rick Kehoe going right in. And he shot wide. Buck tried to jam it in from the side. Lazinski is covered up. And the play to the right of the Detroit goal.
What a play Lazinski made. The Wings, first of all, had the golden opportunity. Willie Huber tried to keep the puck in. It was bouncing. And away comes Pittsburgh on a pass here to Peter Lee, and he's in the clear. Look where Lazinski come. Well out beyond the crease. He made Lee shoot the puck wide, and then when he tried to tuck it in the short side, Lazinski was there to keep him from getting it in.
Now the trainer and Russ Anderson of Pittsburgh, you can see them moving down the corridor into the Pittsburgh dressing room.
Update on a Buffalo score. Buffalo have come back to tie Quebec 3-3 midway through the third period.
Greg Malone moving in against Mark Curtin. That's Reed Larson circling in behind the goal. He was checked right there. Peter Lee, number 10, he's got 2 goals in the hockey game, struggling in along the board. And now there's going to be a penalty coming up to Larson, I believe. Or maybe to the 2 of them. Larson's heading over. He's going to get the call.
This is a fairly cheap call. There were several players in along the boards, and I guess Reed got his arms tangled around. Looked like Carlisle that was in there. Reed couldn't understand getting the penalty. Well, again, the pressure goes on the Wings penalty killers. Paul Woods coming out, along with Jimmy Korn and Barrett. Oh, Willie Huber's coming out now, so John Barrett will leave. Paul Woods and Dale McCourt up front. 1 minute and 43 seconds. And again, they have to get by this penalty. They can't afford to go in down by 3.
Larson picks up Detroit's 9th penalty of the hockey game, off for a holding at 18 minutes and 17 seconds. Now that's Carlisle, number 25, drove the shot. The save made by Lazinski, and Huber sends the rebound the length of the ice. Millen played it all the way up to center ice, but Hamilton brought it back into his own zone. Played it now to Carlisle and Faubert. Mario Faubert moving out of his own end, drops it back to Carlisle. Back to Faubert over the line. He's dumped by Korn. Here's Peter Lee trying to get loose. Korn in after him. They took it to the boards. Came back to Faubert. He played it off to the side and in behind the Detroit goal. Peter Lee put it right out in front, and Lazinski stopped Malone. Big save by Larry Lazinski as Malone was camped right out in front of him. We have a minute to go in the period. The Wings short a man. Randy Carlisle in behind his own net. Now Faubert drops it back for Carlisle, moving his way out to center ice. Up the right side, Faubert. Mario Faubert dropped it at the line. In behind the goal, Greg Malone. Greg Malone put it right out in front, and the check made there by Curtin, and the Wings clear it out center ice. Mark Curtin with a half a minute left. Takes it in, took the shot that just wide. Carlisle, a quick look up at the clock, 25 seconds in the period. Play deep in the Pittsburgh zone. That's Jim Hamilton, number 28. Now Hamilton clears it up the right side to Ferguson. Ferguson stopped by Korn. Play deep in the Detroit end. It's dug away, though, by the right out in front. The shot made. The save made by Lazinski. He made the big save on shot. And the puck cleared down the ice, and the time runs out. And I'll tell you something, Larry Lazinski came to the front when he had to.
He certainly has. That just shows you goaltending. This kid getting a chance to play. Here was an excellent chance for Pittsburgh to get their 3-goal lead again, and Lazinski beat them on the puck, bouncing crazily around in front of the net. Errol Thompson came in and cleared it into the corner, and then finally got it out over the blue line. Killed the clock.
So that's it. We have played 2 periods of wide-open hockey here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. In a moment, the Fan Forum question will be answered with Vaslav Nedemansky. And we'll be taking a look at the Red Wings Farm Club in Adirondack. Glen Falls, if you will, coached by old friend J.P. LeBlanc along with Tommy Webster. All of this coming up after we pause now for this.
We'd like to introduce the 1981 American Motors Concorde.
Pretty ain't enough anymore, mister.
You're right, but Concorde's more than just good looking. This luxury compact's made of the same stuff you are.
Huh?
Steel. Galvanized steel. Concorde's the only American car with galvanized steel in 100% of the exterior body panels.
But is it tough on gas?
Concorde beats Chevy Citation.
Mister, you might be onto something.
See the all-new 1981 AMCs at your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep dealer.
Hello, this is Liberace. It's my pleasure to be guest starring on the Monte Carlo show this week. And what a show. 6 of the world's greatest acts, our host Patrick Wayne, lay girls, and that rascal Blue. All the glamour and excitement of Monte Carlo will be as close as your television set. Turn it on and we'll turn you on with the Monte Carlo show.
The Monte Carlo show, Sunday night at 7 on TV 50.
This is Fan Forum, a chance for Red Wing fans to ask the questions. Now, here's Al Blade.
Welcome back to Fan Forum. Greg Rowe has a question for Vaslav Nedemansky. Greg?
Yes. When Vaslav first came here, he played on a line with Dennis Hextall and Nick Libet, and now he plays on a line with Paul Woods and Danny Lebret, and I'd really like to know, whether he'd like to play with checkers or skaters.
This old line is so past. And the same thing with Red Wings. Our change is really changing. Our style is changing right now. And if you are looking around the league, you can see those teams, they have good skaters and good passes. They are successful all the time. I do prefer to play with skating type of players, such Labratton and Woods. That's it.
Our thanks to Vaslav Nedemansky and also to our guest fan, Greg Rowe. Join us next game on Fan Forum.
And so the 2 teams trading goals in the second period, and after 2 periods of play, Pittsburgh leading 5-3. Sid, the big difference, those 2 goals scored just seconds apart in the first period and very early in the period by Pittsburgh.
Well, with the Wings back scoring to make it 5-3, Bruce, I feel that they're still in this hockey game. Detroit have not played a strong hockey game, though. Pittsburgh have controlled the play. The Wings, periodically, just every once in a while, seem to get their act together and put a little pressure on. I thought the change where Gilbert left the net, Lazinski come in. Lazinski has shut the door, and possibly he will shut the door here in the third period, and the Wings could get back in this hockey game.
Well, it's that kind of a game. It's been open all the way down the line. It's one of those things where anything could happen. In the period, though, the Penguins outshot Detroit 11-7, so that gives Detroit 12 shots and Pittsburgh 25 after 2 periods of play. That's a pretty good shooting margin. We have an opportunity to take a look at the 2 goals scored in that second period, Sid. The score was 4-2, and Lee scored for Pittsburgh.
All right, there's Gilbert behind the net, clearing the puck into the corner, and Paul Woods goes in, and watch the puck come back out in front. And, all right, here's the play by Malone out to Lee. Nobody picked him up, and he was wide open, and he put it right through Gilbert's legs. Gilles didn't get the legs closed, and this is when Gilbert decided, I think he decided to pull himself. He took his mask off and skated over the bench, and big Larry Lazinski went in, and from the 150 mark on, he shut the door.
And Gilbert, incidentally, went to the bench, and then about 2 plays later, he skated off the ice over to the dressing room with Ole Olsevich, which means that he may have been hampered by an injury of some sort or another. Well, the Wings got the goal back, and again, it was a power play effort, and again, it was Reed Larson.
Well, here's a case, too, where the play come back out. Larson at the point. That's Curtin that went in around behind the net, forced the play to come out to Larson. He shot from the point, and Curtin in front. Mark Curtin must have put his stick down and deflected it right by the goaltender, and he was well out of his net to try and cover it, but that put the Wings back in the game. I'm talking about Gilbert. I think Gilbert got hurt midway through the first period when he had trouble getting up. He stayed on the net, and then when they scored the goal early in the second period, he decided to come out.
I'd like to say another thing about Mark Curtin, too, because after the New Year's Eve game against Pittsburgh, when Curtin had played quite well, Wayne Maxner said, you know, the kid is playing on one leg. He did suffer a groin pull some time ago. He's been playing in pain. He didn't play the game last night against Vancouver, but he has been some sort of an acquisition since he came to Detroit in that Jimmy Rutherford for who trade.
Yes, everybody was saying, who's Mark Curtin? But he's made everyone realize just what a kind of a hockey player he is. Terrific on face-offs. I don't think they expected him to score that many goals, but he has picked up 4 in a few games, so he can find the net, too.
Well, I'll tell you how Wayne Maxner knew about Mark Curtin. He watched him all through his junior days. He has known about a few other of the Red Wing hockey players, and I think most particularly like John Barrett, Glenn Hicks, and some of those young men who have been brought up since Wayne Maxner came up. He had coached Adirondack. And so while we are on the subject of Adirondack, I think we could point out that the strength really of any National Hockey League team, and you know this from your coaching and general managing days, Sid, is with the farm system.
There's no doubt about it. If you don't have players down below that you can call up and replace some of the players when they have injuries, you're in trouble. Pittsburgh just went through that, Bruce. They didn't have a player they could call up. They had about 5 fellas out of their lineup, and now they're starting to get some back, and Eddie Johnson feels though he can make changes now and play a better kind of hockey.
Well, on the subject of Adirondack, we're going to take a very close look at the Glen Falls farm team, if you will. But before we do that, we'd like you to watch this.
The Renault Revolution has begun.
Renault 18i.
Introducing the front-wheel drive performance machine that matches BMW in acceleration, but beats its price by $4,000. The Bosch fuel-injected family sedan that beats the gas mileage of Toyota Celica. Renault 18i. At more dealers than any other European car.
Renault 18i.
Renault. More than just economy. At American Motors.
What's the Peschke difference that makes the great American brand great? Well, for bacon, it's the way Peschke carefully select only extra lean bacon. The kind that gives you that crispy, sweet smoke flavor. Extra lean, the quality difference you can taste in great American brand bacon from Peschke.
Peschke makes the difference that makes great American great.
Some of the guests on Red Wing Hockey receive an AM/FM cassette recorder from Sound Design, who also feature the stereo console with 8-track and cassette player recorders and phone. Available at all 23 Good Housekeeping neighborhood stores.
They pack them in here at the Glens Falls Civic Center game after game to see the Adirondack Red Wings play. The players tell me that they love it here, but they'd rather be in Detroit.
I know what I need to get back there, and hopefully I'm getting that out down here, playing the minors, and I feel like, you know, I've matured now, and hopefully I'll get a shot before it's too late.
Does a player have a better chance with Detroit, who is not up in the standings, as compared to the Islanders or Philadelphia?
Well, that can work 2 ways, you know. Like, there could be an opening with the Islanders or Montreal or whoever, and you could get a chance to them, and they're going to be winning a lot of games, so it helps, you know, if you're playing with a winning team, and, you know, you maybe look a little better. And if you go up with Detroit, like, the way things are right now, they're struggling a bit, and hopefully things are going to turn around. But you go up there, and, you know, you sort of got to stand out a bit, you know, to let them appreciate what your ability is.
Ability to play in the big time in hockey is what the Glens Falls team is all about. Who might possibly be the players who will be playing for Detroit in the future? That question I posed to Adirondack co-coach Tom Webster.
I think a guy like Rick Shinsky, who's playing extremely well, has a great chance. They've, I think, drafted well this year, and Mike Blaisdell and Kelly Kishio. They've got a guy like Carmen Sorella, who's a very big, strong boy that's developing more and more each game, and Al Jensen in goal. You know, he's getting better and better too with a heavy workload.
You were the #1 draft choice of the team. Does this put any added pressure on you?
A little bit. I think they expected, you know, to come in and really play well and everything. And now I think they realize that maybe I need a little minor league experience, and that's, you know, it can only help me.
Is it tough on a player coming right out, so-called, from the amateurs or those junior A ranks and going right to the National Hockey League?
Well, there's a lot of differences, you know. You're playing against men, you're playing against stronger guys, faster, and of course there's differences, you know. But, you know, hockey's hockey, I guess. That's all you can say.
What do you think you were sent down to work on?
Oh, I think I'm sent to work on my checking game and playing my own end, probably, most of all.
How did it feel, though, playing in the National Hockey League, your first game?
Oh, it's a big thrill. It's what you always want to do. You're a young kid growing up in Canada, and you watch it on TV, and it's a big thrill to finally get to play against Montreal. It was a big thrill for me, and I was really happy to play as much as I did up there.
There have been those fans who say that Adirondack doesn't get settled as a team because too many guys are sent up and down.
Well, that's true, but that's the part of a farm team, and unfortunately that hurts, and especially hurts when the parent club is floundering, and then they can't get settled. So the quicker Detroit gets settled and they start to win and get back to a normal track, and I think they got the talent to do that. They can get back and get organized and get going. Then they're going to leave our players alone, and then our players won't be looking over their shoulder all the time, and it's going to help us a great deal.
As the hockey expert, who do you feel on the club has the chance, on the Adirondack, has a real bona fide chance for the major leagues, for National Hockey League?
Well, I think there's quite a few of them. You know, I think most of those young kids that came in there this year are Kissio, Patterson, Johnson, Cirillo. Those are all pretty fine rookies. Jensen is an excellent goaltender, and he's got great potential, and Vasco and Jolly are all National Hockey Leaguers. We got a lot of kids there. I think we got as much talent, and I think we got the best skating club in the American Hockey League, and I think that if they're forechecking and really forecheck and play the game up in the other guy's end, hey, we're going to be in the top of that heap right down to the end. But we got some fine kids that are going to be in the National Hockey League. I don't think there's any question about it.
One of the players at Glens Falls, Mal Davis, was called up for a short time by Detroit, but didn't see much playing time. And this he feels he needs if he's to make the big time on a permanent basis.
I think I'm still in their plans and everything to be up there, but, I wasn't playing enough, so they sent me down here to play.
Which would you rather do, sit on the bench in the big time or play in AAA?
I'd sooner be down here playing a lot than up there sitting on the bench all the time. It's not going to do my career any good. Up there, I could end up with 2 goals all year. Sitting on the bench, it's hard to play when you come off the bench when you're cold. I'm used to getting lots of ice time, and that's the way I want to play.
One player not looking for a return trip to the big time is player coach J.P. LeBlanc.
Well, as far as playing in the big time, maybe I've given that up a couple of years ago. I'm 34 years old, and let's face it, you don't stay young forever, and the legs are not maybe as quick as they were, and I've known the last 2-3 years the organization was fair enough with me to let me know that I would be in the minors to help the young kids, and this is where I was going to be. So the coaching part of it was always in the back of my mind. I always felt that I could do a decent job, and so this is a perfect opportunity for me to do both. I still enjoy the game. I still enjoy playing, so I'm still doing that, and at the same time I'm getting some experience in the coaching part of it.
I'm walking into the kitchen, see. And I open up the refrigerator door, and I look way in the back behind the mayonnaise. I spy me an icy bottle of Coke. And I pops it open. When that ice-cold Coke hits the back of my throat.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good, makes me feel nice. Have a Coke and a smile.
That's the real thing.
Good morning. I'm your new homeroom teacher.
Vinny Barbarino.
Juan Luis Pedro Filippo de Huevos Epstein.
Hi there.
Freddie Boom Boom. Oh, I see.
I'm Arnold Horseshack.
Welcome Back, Connor premieres Monday night at 7 on TV 50.
Now, you can order Red Wing souvenirs and gift items by mail. Choose from a wide variety of distinctive souvenirs. Over 200 items ranging from keychains to jerseys, T-shirts, pennants, hats, baseball caps, plus Red Wing jackets with crest in sizes to fit both boys and fathers. They're great for gift giving or for yourself. For a free brochure, call the Red Wings at 963-8400 or write Detroit Red Wings, 600 Civic Center Drive, Detroit 48226. Call 963-8400.
Puritan Sportswear provides Red Wing intermission guests with a handsome sweater and knit shirt ensemble. Puritan, America's standard for quality in men's sportswear, is available at fine stores everywhere.
And we greet you again from here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, where the Detroit Red Wings are down by 2, 5-3, with 20 minutes of hockey still to be played. And this hockey telecast coming to you with WKBD TV, Channel 50, your choice for sports in Detroit. So we can take a look with the score 4-2 coming into the second period and Pittsburgh leading. It was Peter Lee, that gave the Penguins a 4-goal lead at 5-2, or rather a 3-goal lead at 5-2 before Mark Curtin tipped in the shot fired by Reed Larson on the power play at 7:43. And when the third period gets underway, the Red Wings will still have 17 seconds to serve in penalty time. They called a Reed Larson off for holding at 18:17 of the second period.
It's unusual, Bruce, and to see 8 goals scored and 4 of them power play goals. Pittsburgh have 1, and Detroit have scored 3. And Detroit's power play has looked effectively, but this is probably one of their best nights as far as putting the puck in the net when they've had the man advantage.
The Red Wings actually going into the game, I think, were among, if not the team with the least power play opportunities in the National Hockey League.
Right.
I think they'd had 136, and out of the 21 teams in the NHL, that was fewer than any other power play chances.
And another thing that surprised me on their power play, and Mike Foligno plays the power plays, and while he has scored 17 goals for the Wings this season, he has only scored 1 power play goal. Dale McCourt has scored 8.
And John Ogrodnik not far behind him.
Yes.
Well, the Penguins coming out right now. The Red Wings, as we say, will be back at the Joe Louis Arena Tuesday night. Boy, I'll tell you, we've had 2 great crowds the last 2 games. These Pittsburgh Penguins were there on New Year's Eve on Wednesday night, and there were 16,485 fans on hand for that one. Then last night, the Vancouver Canucks, and 17,743 there for that. And so if you put a little work into the hockey game and show the fans that there's nothing you'd rather do than win hockey games, there's no better place to play hockey than the city of Detroit, because the last 2 games they've averaged over 17,000 fans. And what made me think of that is the fact that I just have a feeling Tuesday night with the Montreal Canadiens coming in, you're looking at Eddie Johnston, incidentally, the Penguins head coach, that there won't be an empty seat at the Joe Louis Arena.
It'll be hanging from the rafters. There's no doubt about it. The fans love to see Montreal play, and Detroit playing so well right now, you can expect a terrific hockey game. The big thing in hand, though, is right now for the Wings to come out and put together a real good third period and see if they can pull this one out. I've been mentioning all along people that have come in with the Forum Club. Bill and Kathleen Frazino from Lincoln Park want to say hi to their son Michael. Ron and Esther Javidin say hello to Danny and Kelly. Gail and Tom Kretschniak say hello to Kelly, Tom, Eric, Kim, and Shushu. One more. Martha and Jim Frazino say hello to their children, Derek and Kelly, and a hello to Teresa, David, and Dan Danielle from Vicky Frazino.
Just a wonderful job. There's part of the Forum Club right there. Look at the screen.
I can't leave this last one out. Hello to Perry, the Perry family from Pat. That's their crew.
Forum Club, well over 40 on hand for this hockey game tonight. They came by bus, left at 7 o'clock this morning, and the bus ran into some snow problems, and it was 3 o'clock or later before they got into Pittsburgh. And on top of everything else, the bus driver got lost, they say. There's Wayne Maxner. He's the one in the blue coat. The fellow up in front I don't really recognize.
Ross Lefty Wilson, the Dean of National League Referees.
Referees? He's refereed a few games down there.
The Dean of National League Trainers. Lefty, I like that, saying a referee. Referees talk to him an awful lot, I'll say that.
And he talks to referees a little. Well, Reed Larson, there's Lefty behind the bench. Reed Larson back in the penalty box, has 17 seconds to serve. With the third period about to get underway, so Dale McCourt and Paul Woods move out as penalty killers with Jim Korn and Willie Huber. Paul Gardner won the draw. This is Carlisle. Carlisle swinging it out on the right side for Mario Faubert. Faubert laying it to the blue line, knocked away there. And it's Korn that slid it back to the Pittsburgh line. Now the Penguins' Rick Kehoe back into the Detroit zone. Fired a shot. Lazinski gloved that. It landed out in front. Knocked down there by McCourt. There's Carlisle with a shot, and that was kicked away out in front. They struggle after it. The penalty is over. Larson is back on, and Willie Huber has the puck. Now Huber ahead to Larson. Larson was turned around, still controlled it. His pass didn't get through. Faubert up the right side, Kehoe. Kehoe shoved off the puck by Korn, picked it up again. Here's a chance for Lonsberry. He took the shot, and that's deflected wide. Over along the board, Paul Woods. Woods just slid it out center ice, and Lonsberry back after it. We have played now 1 minute of the third period. 5-3, the Penguins lead. A long slip shot. Lazinski handles that. Korn dumps it along the boards for Mike Foligno, and it came right out, and a shot by Kindrachuk went wide. As the Wings again were careless in their own zone, and now here's Kindrachuk going back in around Korn. Mike Foligno chased him to the boards, took him off the puck, and Korn comes back. Now to Dale McCourt, back to Korn, over the line. Jim Korn digging in behind the goal, tried to center, it was knocked away. And Stackhouse, who made the defensive move, clears ahead to Kindrachuk. And the puck. The play stopped because the net, the Pittsburgh net, is off its pins, but down right in front of the Detroit bench, a meeting of players. That's Anderson, number 7. The Pittsburgh net had been turned around. That stopped the play. So they'll go back and make adjustments there.
I didn't see how the net was dislodged from the post. Those steel posts anchored in the ice, they're supposed to be 8 inches high.
Wasn't it Roger Crozier that used to have a wonderful little talent of coming up and lifting it off every once in a while?
Well, they lengthened the post, Bruce, to stop that. He used to just post in underneath the bar and then straighten up and just lift it off. Glenn Hall, I think, with Chicago was the one that originally started that.
So the play at center ice. Driven back to the Detroit line. Reed Larson played it ahead too far for Nedomansky. Now Faulbert's pass. Oh, moving in. That's Rod Schutt with a shot. And coming out of the net, Lazinski stopped him. And the Wings bounce it back into the Pittsburgh zone. But Schutt, what a great chance he had, and Lazinski came up with a dandy save. Larson turns it back to Barrett. John Barrett. Play didn't get through. That's Randy Carlyle again. Greg Malone over the line, and weak shot along the ice, and Lazinski reaches out and holds on to that.
Boy, John D'Amico let a play go there at the blue line that appeared offside from up here.
And again, they move around.
Greg Lazinski come out to cut off the angle, and Schutt tried to beat him on the far side, but Lazinski beat him.
Lazinski stopped 10 shots in the second period after he came in.
He lets rebounds bounce off him a little bit, Bruce, but he is a fine-looking goaltender.
It'll be 15 shots in his direction since the time he came on early in the second period.
You know, the Wings are still in this game, and they've been outshot 30-12 so far, and one goal could really change things around right now if Detroit could get it.
Now from the face-off, Willie Huber hands it off there to Korn. Jim Korn played it back to Huber. He knocks it down, feeds it ahead to Dale McCourt. O'Grodny coming up the left side, and he was checked before he could get away by Stackhouse. Dale McCourt turned around, coming back. Korn, he hasn't got a stick. But he took his man Malone off the puck, and O'Grodny has it, and O'Grodny lifts it not out. That's Malone that held it in. Korn still without a stick, goes into the corner after it. If he holds it there, he'll get a penalty. He's kicking away at it, still kicking at it. Then Korn took the stick from Mike Foligno, falls down on top of the puck. Foligno made a wise move right there.
Yes, he did.
He moved in, gave Korn his stick.
There's not many players that would think of that. Jimmy Korn trying to play, he's got to keep the puck moving or he would get a penalty, and he's just moving his feet around. And it's funny, Pittsburgh not trying to dig in there and really get it. Mike Foligno handed him his stick and then skated to the bench to get one.
Edmonton out in front of Toronto 4-1 now in the middle of the second period. The Joe Louis Arena has 4 beautifully decorated areas to accommodate all of your special needs for banquets, business meetings, wedding receptions, fundraisers, and fashion shows. So for parties of 50 to 750, you call the Joe Louis Arena. Shot from the blue line, knocked down out in front. Went off of Gardner. Wings cleared ahead. Here's Paul Woods. Got Hicks on the left side. Puck bounced too far for Hicks. That's Lonsberry clearing it back out at center ice. Reed Larson. Dennis Polonich fired it in behind the goal again. Millen stopped it there. Faulbert up the right side for Kehoe. Knocked away from him by Barrett. They hold it to the boards, and the play stays in the Pittsburgh end. Off to the right of Greg Millen. We've played 3 minutes, 11 seconds of the third period.
And Detroit are going to have to throw caution to the wind. They've got to get back in this hockey game, and you're not going to get back by playing conservatively. You've got to chase them.
And with a pause in the action, and it's 5-3 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
The legendary Jeep CJ. You always knew it could take you here in style.
But did you ever think it could take you here in style? Or that it could give you the luxury and comfort of soft bucket seats, room for 4, air conditioning, stereo? And did you know that Jeep CJ has the highest gas mileage of any four-wheeler built in America? 1981 Jeep CJ. Now you know why the legend lives on. From Jeep Corporation of American Motors.
Way back out at center ice. That's Barrett clearing it to the line, but Carlisle sends it ahead to Gardner. Gardner lifting it off to the corner. Kehoe, number 17. Play broken up by Thompson. Kehoe got it again. Nedemansky sent it back to Barrett. Barrett's pass coming up to Danny LeBratton. Here's LeBratton over the line with Nedemansky. Puck ended up in the corner off Millen. Lonsberry after it. Lonsberry didn't get it out. It was held in, but that's Randy Carlisle, number 25. Dropping it back. Mario Faubert bringing it out center ice, lifting it deep into the Detroit end. Lazinski kicks it into the corner for Larson. Now Reed Larson winding up. A right wing pass too far out in front of Danny LeBratton. Came right back now to Larson. Larson tipped it over the line, goes in after it. Here's Larson, his pass knocked away. And Rod Schutt, he's got Gardner with him. Back over the line. Kehoe cutting out in front. And they took the shot and they score. You could just see it coming as Kehoe cut right out in front of Lazinski.
And Larry Lazinski got a lot of that into his glove, but he couldn't hang on to it. He followed it all the way back into the net, just through his glove. A perfect pass across the goal mouth. Gardner takes the pass right before he goes over the blue line, and he's watching Kehoe coming in from the far side. He's not there. He's in the picture. And you can see the puck bounce off Larry Lazinski's glove into the open side of the net, and that is a big goal. His 27th goal of the season, a terrific season for Kehoe.
Gardner and Schutt draw the assist on the goal. His 27th of the year for Kehoe. And right now, Pittsburgh has outshot Detroit 32-12. So it's been their game. Mike Foligno at center ice. Foligno wheeled it off the glass, and it bounced up into the crowd. 4 minutes, 15 seconds, the time of the goal by Kehoe that makes it 6-3.
That is the first goal scored on Larry Lazinski. 32-12. It's hard to believe, and the Wings were in the hockey game until that goal, the 6th goal.
7 shots on goal for Pittsburgh and none for Detroit here in the third period. So the Wings didn't exactly come out charging. Trying to get something going now. They're down by 3. Stackhouse drives it back into the Detroit end. Pittsburgh's player Schutt was dumped before he could get in after it. So the Wings start back out. A pass coming up. Ogrodnik ahead, but that's broken up center ice. Stackhouse played it back to the Detroit zone. Huber's pass broken up. Then Foligno tipped it back to McCourt. Ogrodnik up the left wing. John Ogrodnik into the corner. His centering pass knocked away. Foligno along the boards. Played it back to Ogrodnik. He tried to work it out in front. Ogrodnik called down, and there will be a penalty coming up to Stackhouse. And as the Penguins gain possession, the penalty called. So with a pause in the action and the score, Pittsburgh 6, Detroit 3. We'll be back with the Red Wing power play in a moment.
This Bud's for everyone who works, so we can play.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Ron Stackhouse, he's off for holding.
Here's where he picked up his penalty. Ron Stackhouse comes in and just grabs a hold of John Ogrodnik and throws him down right in front of the referee.
Live action now. Huber handing a short pass off to Larson. Larson, he's got time. He fired the shot. He scored! And the Red Wings are again 2 goals back, and Larson has his 3rd goal of the game, the 4th power play goal for the Red Wings.
And Larson has his 4th point of the game, 3 goals and an assist, and he has his shooting stick with him tonight. He is just rearing back and letting that thing fly. He just moved around across the blue line, a 3-goal hat trick for Larson. And the other shot was Watch him right here from the blue line. He moves in. He gets everything on this. He can shoot with the best. That finds the net. The goaltender a good 15 feet out, but he couldn't stop the shot.
Now the Wings are back into it because we still have 14 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this hockey game. Puck went into the Detroit end, way offside, with Malone down the right side.
The big thing is, Bruce, the Wings have to score the goal to get within one and then find out just what Pittsburgh will do.
Huber and Ogrodnik draw the assists on the goal, scored at 5:32 on the power play. So the Wings again are down those 2 goals that Gardner and Malone scored, 117 and 153 in the first period. But Pittsburgh still with a big shooting edge. Now the play back into the Detroit zone. That's Fowler trying to work away from Korn. In behind the goal. Korn broke his stick. It's right out in front of the goal. Bouncing around still, and Korn without a stick kicks it into the corner. Played it up the right side. Netamansky got it loose, and Errol Thompson lifts it out center ice. Korn back for a new stick. Here's Netamansky over the line. Took the shot, and he fired it wide, and he had a good opportunity. Peter Lee being chased by Errol Thompson. Now Carlisle firing it along the board. Willie Huber couldn't hold it in. Paul Woods took a whack at it, but Greg Malone back into the Detroit zone. Malone's centering pass was broken up. They bang one another along the boards. Netamansky failed to get to it. Now it's cleared into the circle again. Hamilton sent it back out center ice. It's played back in offside.
Larson's hat trick is the first hat trick by a defenseman for Detroit since October the 21st, 1954, when Red Kelly scored 3.
Having a little struggle out inside the Detroit blue line. Mike Foligno in the middle of it all again. Tuesday night, the true story of the Manson family, Helter Skelter, TV 50's 8 o'clock movie. Next Tuesday.
I've been looking down on the bench, Bruce, to see if Gilbert come out to sit on the bench this period, and from where we are, it's fairly difficult. Terry Schiffauer, the publicity man for the Pittsburgh Penguins, let on that possibly he had a pointer.
Here's Gardner going right in, and the save made by Lazinski. As the Wings careless in their own zone, they got away with it thanks to Lazinski. Now Ogrodnik down the left side. Ogrodnik over the line. A rolling puck, and it was knocked away from him and fired off to the side. Held in at the blue line? No, not quite. Offside. First one team and then the other with good scoring chances.
Big save on Gardner by Larry Lazinski. Look at Gardner go in, and he's a goal scorer. He took a look at the short side, and Larry never made a move. He stayed right with him, made the save.
Game remains 6-4 Pittsburgh with a little more than 13 minutes to play here in the third period. Reed Larson with a hat trick for Detroit, and he set up the 4th Detroit goal, all 4 of them on a power play. Now here's Russ Anderson driving it back into the Detroit zone. Korn goes back after it. Korn sent it into the corner, but Gardner sets up Stackhouse. His shot deflected away. Jim Korn down the left side, moving it out to center ice. Big Jim Korn on the move over the line, but he was stopped right there. Korn and Stackhouse collide. Back in the Detroit zone, Lonsberry. The shot deflected away by Huber. Puck came out in front. Korn sends it off now, and Polonich turns out. Dennis Polonich over the line, fakes the shot, goes to the corner with Anderson. Polonich in behind the goal. Here's Polonich still. He sets up Willie Huber. Oh, and coming out of the net, Millen stopped him as Huber had a great chance. Good play by Polonich. Now Glenn Hicks. Hicks tried to center it. Danny LeBratton put it out in front. Willie Huber's backhander knocked away. And Kehoe starts out with Gardner. Gardner back into the Detroit zone. Played it into the corner. Wings had a great chance a moment ago. Now this is shot. He failed to get to it. Polonich ahead to Hicks. Glenn Hicks at center ice. Played it up the right side. Shutt back to get it. Now Rod Shutt clearing it up on the right wing. Over the line. That's Kindrachuk putting it off to the side of the net. They go into the corner after it. Kindrachuk digging it away. McCourt goes in with him. Puck still loose. And it was Mike Foligno that went in. Took it away from the both of them. Foligno just shooting it out center ice. Driven right back in by Fowler. The play went in. Offside.
Well, the opportunity came up. A perfect pass out to Willie Huber, right out in the slot. He moved in, and Millen made his biggest save of the game. He come way out of his net to cut the angle. Dennis Polonich around the outside of Anderson and makes a perfect pass out in the slot here to Huber. Huber just moves in. Nobody comes to challenge him. And he shot. It appeared as though he tried to pick the long side.
It was a pretty good move on the part of goaltender Greg Millen. Now the play bouncing off of Ogrodnik. Dale McCourt got a stick on it, but it'll be brought out by Ferguson. He's checked there by Foligno. Ogrodnik drops it back. John Hamel is back along the defense for Detroit now. Puck in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Laid up on the left side. That's Barrett and moved in. Knocked it away. Carlisle follows up. Now it's Schutt. He's got Ferguson with him. Schutt drove a long shot. He'll bear the save. It's out in front, and McCourt starts right back. Dale McCourt. Now to Ogrodnik. Back to McCourt. Cutting by. Took the shot. A backhander. Oh, and another big save on the part of Millen. Sliding heavily into the boards was Schutt. Now Ogrodnik again. Took it over the boards, or rather over the line, but he stopped right there by Faulbear. Wings have had their chances. They trail by 2. Puck cleared back to the line. McCourt sent it back into the Pittsburgh end. Millen drops it there for Faulbear. Mario Faulbear moving his way out center ice again. Drove it off the boards in behind the Detroit goal. Lazinski stopped it there, played it away from Hamilton. Nedemansky off the boards. His pass to Curtin didn't come out. Curtin managed to send it over the line. And Pittsburgh shot it back in on the offside. 36 shots for Pittsburgh and 15 for Detroit.
Detroit's 2 best scoring opportunities have come here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Willie Huber first, and then McCourt going around the outside and having a real good chance, and Millen come up with 2 big saves.
Well, there's Russ Anderson, who, as you see, was a teammate of Reed Larson.
I didn't know that.
Stay with us. You learn a lot of these things.
Yeah, you're telling me. You're teaching me a lot, Chris.
I just read it. Now in behind his own goal is Anderson, being chased by Curtin. Russ Anderson coming out center ice. Fired it into the corner, and that play is whistled down, and the referee, Brian Lewis, stopped the play, and I think he's called a penalty. Maybe 2 of them. Malone and Curtin are going in together. So with a pause in the action, the score 6-4. Pittsburgh will be back after this.
This is the day for flying. We'll send it to the sky. Don't let it fall now. Give it all now. Gonna sail it high. It's so hard, but when the hard part's through, that's when we go for something easy like A&W. Nothing so screw and easy as A&W. Nothing so screw and easy as A&W.
Mark Curtin of Detroit, Greg Malone of Pittsburgh off together for slashing, 10:03. Each team short a man. Here's Danny LeBratton. He played it ahead to Nedemansky. Nedemansky's return pass didn't get through, and the Penguins' Gardner clears it back into the Detroit end. Wings has some scoring power out there now. Nedemansky, LeBratton, Huber, and Larson. Here's Nedemansky. Over the line, took the shot, he hit the goal post. Hit the goal post off to the left of Millen. Now Lonsberry picks the puck up at his own blue line. Cleared it back out center ice. Wings coming close again. Stackhouse drives it down the ice. There'll be an icing call. It's back after it is Larson. Play right back into the Pittsburgh zone, and still a lot of time remaining. 9 minutes and 14 seconds.
And the Wings have come on strong here in the last 5 minutes. They've had several chances. Nedemansky from well out. He tees off. Nedemansky shot a puck a while ago that appeared to have the goaltender beat, but he missed the net. This time he got the range a little closer, and he hit the post. Millen has not looked sharp for Pittsburgh, other than the 2 big saves here in the third period.
You can enjoy a Red Wings hockey game at the Joe Louis Arena with your club or organization. For group sale information, call Emily at 962-2000. Mike Foligno charging into the corner. He's down on top of the puck. They dig after it. That'll take the face-off out over the Pittsburgh blue line. 9 minutes and 8 seconds still to play in the hockey game. 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the penalties to Curtin and Malone. The Wings and the Montreal Canadiens at Joe Louis Arena on Tuesday night.
Mike Foligno, the leading penalty minute man on the Red Wings this season. 109 minutes. I would think that's probably one of the most for a right winger that's considered a goal scorer. Usually fellows that score a lot of goals don't spend too much time in the penalty box.
Now it's Dale McCord and Mike Foligno. Huber and Larson. Kindrachuk won the face-off. Now Kindrachuk ahead to Ferguson. Ferguson a backhander, and he grazed the goalpost off to the right of Lazinski. Mike Foligno having trouble, lost it. They brought it out in front, and coming back, the puck was knocked away, and the player knocked down with Kindrachuk. The Wings have the play in their own zone. In behind his goal, Foligno. Mike Foligno. He lost it again. There's another shot, and Lazinski stopped. Oh, what a save he made on Kindrachuk again. Now Dale McCourt. McCourt circles in his own zone. Foligno had his problems deep in his own end. Reed Larson. Larson driving it back into the Pittsburgh end. Millen playing it away from Polonich. The Wings changing on the move. Down the right side, Lee. Drops it back now for Mark Johnson into the Detroit zone. He's bumped heavily by Hicks. Now Barrett cleared it too far. That's Peter Lee putting it right out in front. And Lazinski came out to steer that away. Barrett, a quick pass, covering up is Polonich. Dennis Polonich plays it up on the left side to Hicks. Penalties are over. Both teams back at full strength. Play deep in the Pittsburgh end as Stackhouse goes back. 7 minutes, 45 seconds to play. Third period. 6-4. Mark Johnson clearing it in behind the Detroit goal. Lazinski stops it there. John Hamel just dumped it into the corner. Nedomansky played it back to the goal for John Barrett. Up on the left side, a long pass. LeBratton sets up Nedomansky. It went over the line. And that's all. Knocked back down the ice, and as Barrett plays it, it'll be whistled down. He hit it with a high stick.
And it's been wide open. The shot's 38-16, and Larry Lazinski has come up with a few dandies to keep the score at 6-4. Still 7 minutes and 23 seconds. Mike Foligno on 3 occasions tried to stick handle out of his own zone and got turned around, and they did everything but put the puck in the net. And Mike, of course, had the misfortune last night of making a bad play that allowed Vancouver to tie the score in the third period. Mike finally took himself off after the third swing up without getting out.
Now the puck flies into the Pittsburgh zone. Millen in behind his own goal. That's Anderson. Russ Anderson knocked away by Glenn Hicks. Hicks couldn't control it. It's driven down the ice again, and back after it goes Barrett. They wave off any icing, so Barrett's going to have to play it, being chased by Lonsberry. He lost it in the corner. He'll play it to the side of the net. They brought it right out in front of the goal, and Lazinski knocked it away for Nedomansky. Nedomansky's pass right to Stackhouse. Stackhouse shoots it back into the Detroit end. Gardner chasing Barrett in along the boards. Gardner broke his stick. Puck came out in front. Nedomansky ahead to LeBratton. Danny LeBratton. Faubert in front of him, and Faubert took him off the puck. Now it's Carlisle in behind his own goal. Randy Carlisle on the left side to Lonsberry. Lonsberry cleared it to the Detroit line. Larson swings it up on the left side to Hamel. John Hamel hands it back to Larson. Larson center ice, Mike Foligno. Now Foligno works away from Kindrachuk, took it over the line, but he stopped right there by Ferguson, and the puck sent back to the Detroit zone again with Huber back after it. We have 6 minutes to play in the third period. Detroit down by 2. Foligno stops, and they play. Whistled down. Willie Huber getting up, adjusting pads and whatnot. With a pause on the action. 6-4 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment.
This Bud's for everyone who puts it down in black and white.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Dale McCourt leads the Wings, but this is nothing new. Dale McCourt has led the Wings the last couple of years.
play goes in behind the Detroit goal. Going in behind his own net, Reed Larson. Kindrachuk covering him there. They jam it in along the boards behind the Detroit net, so the face-off stays deep in the Red Wing end.
There was a case where Reed Larson went in to make a play on the puck, and his stick stuck in a crack in the boards right in behind the net. It's where they opened the doors, and his stick got caught in there, and then he couldn't make a play on the puck. Reed Larson scored over 60 points each of his last 3 seasons. A terrific record for a defenseman.
And he's got 4 more points here tonight with 3 goals. And the other goal was a shot tipped in. Now, Foligno just batted it out to center ice. It's cleared back in way offside. Face off at center ice, and time becomes ever so important now with 5 minutes and 41 seconds still to go in the game. The Red Wings have had but 4 shots here in this period. And 14 shots, believe it or not, for Pittsburgh. And Lazinski, the only one to beat him in 24 shots since he's been in there. With a goal he had no chance on. He even got a piece of it. His keyhole just cut right in and deflected it. Pass. There's Shutt with a shot, knocked away by Lazinski, came out in front. Kindrachuk took the shot, and Lazinski got a piece of that. Now it's cleared out center ice by Ogrodnik. Played right back into the Detroit end. In behind his own goal, Reed Larson sending it ahead to Foligno. That's Ogrodnik playing it back to Huber. Center ice, Mike Foligno. Now over the line, Dale McCourt, and he fired it wide. He had his chance. Foligno, he's hemmed in along the boards. Ogrodnik dug it away, and McCourt couldn't reach it. They keep it in. The Pittsburgh zone. Puck knocked down with a high stick, played by Pittsburgh, so the play whistled down.
Boy, the Wings had another chance there. If some of these shots would have been on the net, they're just missing the corners. Dale McCourt was left alone coming in through the middle, and he really fired. Update on some scores. New York Islanders 8, Hartford 1 late in the 3rd period. Washington nothing, Minnesota 1 late in the 1st period. Vancouver 1, St. Louis nothing midway through the 1st period.
Play comes back to the Detroit blue line. That's Jim Korn. Handing it back to Barrett. Barrett swings it along the boards. Errol Thompson hemmed in there by Greg Malone. The 2 number 12s have one another tied up. Play off to the rim, to the circle, to the left side of Larry Lazinski.
And we have one final score, Bruce. Buffalo 3, Quebec 3. So that puts Quebec 1 point ahead of Detroit again. Detroit had tied them last night in points with 28.
Malone won the draw. Stackhouse took the shot. Lazinski stopped that. Into the corner. Korn ahead now to Paul Woods. Woods was checked before he could work it away by Malone. Goes right back into the Detroit end, and Korn back after it. Circling in behind his own goal, Jim Korn up the right side now to Nedemansky. Nedemansky coming out center ice. Moved into the line. Here's Nedemansky with a chance. Oh, and coming out of the net, Millen stopped him. Well, the Wings have had their chances, too.
They really have. Millen has come up with the marbles when he's had to here in the 3rd period because the Wings have got free several times. Nedemansky misplayed the puck and then finally gets right into the circle. Got a shot away real good. Millen comes out. It missed his pad. It hit him out in the glove part.
4 minutes and 13 seconds still to go in the game. 6-4, Pittsburgh leads. Penguins got off to a 2-0 lead in the first minute or so of the game. They've led by 3 on several occasions. Here's Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik tried to move out in front. He did, but he couldn't get the shot away. And it's sent back out center ice with Larson back after it. Now Larson hands it off to Huber. Willie Huber ahead to Dale McCourt. He bounced it right to the net. And Millen is going to hold on to it with Foligno coming right in on top of him. So they'll keep the play in the Pittsburgh end off to the left of Greg Millen. First period saw goals by Gardner and Malone at 1:17 and 1:53, just 36 seconds apart. Then Larson on a power play, then Lee, then Malone, and it was 4-1. Then Larson got a second power play goal. First period ended 4-2. There's Larson with another shot, and that's deflected high up into the crowd. Lee gave Pittsburgh a 5-2 lead early in the second period at 1:50, and that's when Gilbert came out of the net. Lazinski came on to replace him, and he has played an extremely strong game from that point on. Curtin scored on the power play, tipping in a shot by Reed Larson. Second period ended 5-3.
There's some of the Forum Club here enjoying the hockey game. Of course, they were hoping that they could see the Wings win a hockey game here in Pittsburgh.
Lonsberry ahead to Kehoe. With that long shot deflected off Huber. That hurt a little bit. Now Foligno just golfed it back into the Pittsburgh zone. Mario Faubert back after it. It skipped by everybody. There's no icing, so Larson goes in behind his own net. Being checked right there by Gardner. Larson played it to the line. The Wings got it out to center ice. They battle there, and it's driven right back into the Detroit end. And now 3:20 to go. Willie Huber. Huber works away. His pass, Lonsberry, knocked away from him by Foligno, but covering up with Carlisle. Here's Carlisle again. Shooting it into the Detroit end. Huber knocks it down, starts Obrodnikov. He just took the long shot wide. Wings changing on the move. 3 minutes to go. Faubert lifting it back into the Detroit zone. Lazinski laid it up on the right side. Ferguson held it in. John Barrett, number 2, dipped it along the boards for Nedomansky. Nedomansky played it ahead for Barrett. Paul Woods. Woods to Hicks. Glenn Hicks got over the line. Millen came out of the net to steer it away. That's Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk checked by Hicks. Still pulled it off. Now Ferguson goes around Korn. Ferguson took the shot, and Lazinski knocked that away. Coming right back, Barrett. Barrett played it behind Nedomansky. It's tipped back into the Detroit zone. Barrett back after it. Off the boards to Korn. Here's Jim Korn coming out. Now Korn carried over the line, dumped it into the corner, goes chasing in after with Malone. They have the puck pinned to the boards. That keeps the face-off to the right of the Pittsburgh net. With a pause in the action, 6-4, Pittsburgh leads. We're back in just a moment.
What's the pesky difference that makes the great American brand great? It's in every great American brand product. Deli fresh lunch meats, lean and firm hams, extra lean bacon, smoked sausage and spicy Polska kielbasa, and those bursting with flavor hot dogs. Pesky makes the quality difference you can taste.
Pesky makes the difference that makes great American great.
Pesky Great American brand products have the quality difference you can taste. Available at all A&P supermarkets.
Bruce Martin and Sid Abel with you, with our director, Toby Cunningham, from here at Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. There's a shot from the blue line fired by Huber that went wide. Penguins bring it back out. That's Jim Hamilton being checked by Foligno. Off the side of his own goal, Lazinski played it up the right side for Reed Larson. Larson's pass comes up now to Foligno. 1:45 remaining. Foligno took the long shot. The save made by Millen. Coming right back now, Greg Malone. That's center ice. Huber takes it. Willie Huber cleared it to the line. Faubert fanned on it. The court sent it over the line on an offside. They delayed the call, so the Wings now do play it back in. Carlisle along the boards on the left wing. It came off there to Hamilton. He shoots it out center ice. Foligno knocked it down. Here's Larson. Larson got it back over the line. But again, Carlisle is there to gobble it up, and Malone starts out. Over the line, Peter Lee. His shot blocked by Huber. Lee broke his stick. 1:05 to go. We're going to watch, see if Lazinski should come out of the net. The Wings are going to be called for icing. As Faubert touches it with 1 minute to go in the hockey game. Believe it or not, the Red Wings have had 18 shots on goal, and Pittsburgh credited with 43.
And Wayne Maxner is going to be very pleased with the play of Larry Lazinski on the nets. He went in at the 1:50 mark of the second period. Has given up just the one goal to Kehoe, and that's a goal that he got his glove on. It bounced out of his glove, and he fought it all the way back, trying to get his balance back and catch the puck before it went over the line, but couldn't.
So he had to be good just to get any part of it on that goal.
Yes.
As Kehoe just cut in and deflected the pass.
He's a cool-looking goaltender.
Yeah, I like him. The Wings try to work it out of their own zone. That's Paul Woods. Number 15, Hicks finally jabbed it out to center ice. Coming back, Kehoe. Played it over the line. It's held in. There's Kehoe with a shot, and that's knocked away by Lazinski. He's going to hold on to it. Well, I'll tell you, when he came in, he made 10 stops in the second period without allowing a goal. And there have been 19 shots against him here in the third period, so that's a total of 29 shots. And he gave up only the one goal on the deflected shot by
Bruce, he's a true stand-up goaltender.
There's Stackhouse and another save for Lazinski. In behind his own net, Jim Korn. Korn played it to the line, picked it up himself. 30 seconds to go. Over the line, Paul Woods dropped it off there, was knocked away from Hicks. Coming back down, Gardner. Now Paul Gardner trying to go around Barrett. Barrett took him off the puck. It goes into the corner. Penguins go in after it. Lonsberry played it back to the blue line. Anderson held it in. Now it's tapped out to center ice. Nedemansky over the line. The pass to Hicks, back to Nedemansky. That's deflected wide. And time running out here in the period, and the buzzer will go before the Wings can get a shot away. And Detroit ends up losing the hockey game 6-4. And after a wild first period that saw 13, 14 penalties in all, and 6 goals for them by Pittsburgh. We'll be back in just a moment to recap it all for you, but again, the final score, Pittsburgh 6, Detroit 4. We shall return after this.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Good morning. I'm your new homeroom teacher.
Vinny Barbarino.
Juan Luis Pedro Filippo de Huevos Epstein.
Hi there.
Freddie Boom Boom. Oh,
I'm Arnold Horseshack.
Welcome Back, Connor premieres Monday night at 7 on TV 50.
Sid, if there were 2 bright spots in the hockey game for Detroit, one would have to be the goaltending of Larry Lazinski, who came on early in the second period and played, I thought, a fine hockey game. The other would be Reed Larson with his 3 goals.
Larson's goals kept Detroit in this hockey game, and he had his shooting stick out. Watch the way he stick handles along the blue line and then moves in. Now, all the wood on it. Malone backed away from him, and Reed took his turn, time, and really let fly. And the screen out in front, but Millen come well out to try and cut the angle down, but Larson beat him for his 3rd goal.
So Reed Larson has goals number 10, 11, and 12 in this hockey game. Kehoe put the Penguins way out in front by 3 goals again before Larson scored his 3rd of the hockey game at 5:32. After that, the Red Wings had their possibilities, the opportunities, but they were stopped by Millen when he had to do it. And, of course, as we said, Lazinski played well in the Detroit goal. So the Wings now move back home to meet the Montreal Canadiens in the game Tuesday night. It'll be quite some time before our next telecast. We'll be with you on the 20th of January with a game out of the fabulous Forum in Los Angeles between the Red Wings and Marcel Dion and the Los Angeles Kings. It'll be a 10:30 start for that telecast, January 20th. So as we get set to leave the Civic Arena here in Pittsburgh, this is Bruce Martin speaking for Sid Abel and Toby Cunningham, hoping you've enjoyed the telecast of tonight's game. With once again the final score, the Pittsburgh Penguins 6 and the Detroit Red Wings 4.
Red Wing Hockey. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep Renault dealers, offering all new 2-wheel, 4-wheel, and front-wheel drive cars for 1981. And by Pesky and the Pesky Great American Premium line of meat products. This has been a presentation of the Detroit Hockey Club and TV 50.
After Benny, more of what you've been waiting for after Benny tonight at 11:30 on WKBD TV 50 Detroit.